Woo in the building. Peace, woo, peace, and peace. Hope everyone's doing well. See, we ain't got a lot of people up in here yet, but they coming. I know my folks is coming. Yeah, I already know. hmm Yeah. My tappers is coming too. I know the tappers is coming. We gotta tap them numbers up. Trying to push this out in the FYPs, y'all. Let's get crunk. Spiritual Patty said he was vulnerable and covert. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. That's the same pretty much. The covert is the cover, the undercover one, the sneaky ones. Oh, I know a lot. I'm gonna break it down right now. I'm about to break it down right now. Hold on. Hold on. I know a lot about these narcissists. I dealt with one for almost 7 years. Very welcome, Spiritual Baddie. Thank you for coming through too. Appreciate you. Hope you had a good day today. Just waiting a little bit for my folks to come on through. Squad in the building. Because I'm inconsistent with the times. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. I'm also engaged in a 7-day guaranteed program to help you get over the narcissist, understand the narcissism, breaking the trauma bond. So I do personalized. My goal is to actually have like a maximum of 20 people, and I want to do a participant only live. So I want to have a live with only like 20 people who are all taking part in this 7-day program. Right now, I only have like 5, so I do them individually. So I don't have a lot of time for lives like I used to, but it's all good. It's all good. Slet, what's that? Sletet. Sletet, they manipulate the son, and he tries to control his wife, acting as a flying monkey. Yeah, I mean, you talking about the narcissistic mama. They manipulate the daughters too. Sketet. I think that's how you pronounce that. I hope it's how you pronounce it. Yeah, but yeah. The one person that a narcissist is gonna be loyal to is the narcissistic mama. The males or the female narcissist. The mama controls both of them. Got my carrot and orange juice juiced. This tastes great. It's good for your skin too. Well, peace to y'all who are here. I will answer a few questions, but I'm waiting for a second, waiting for my folks to find us. You know what I mean? Yeah, it'll crank up in a second. But I'm glad y'all tapping the screen up. That's what's up. Start getting this pushed out into new FYPs. That's what the tapping is for. The likes, I'm not in need of likes or validation or anything like that. Those numbers are to push this out into more FYPs because we're striving to expand, increase our community, our safe space community for narcissist survivors, empaths, chosen ones. A safe space for us to come and be seen, to be heard, to be understood. Because this wasn't just a normal toxic relationship. I know a lot of you already know that. You try to talk to people about it, they're like, oh, just get over it. Just get with somebody. This is not easy to get over. This was not a normal relationship. You were dealing with a person who had a mental disorder and who was possessed by a demonic spirit. This is absolutely spiritual. Absolutely. These people are demons. They're possessed by demons. And that's why they're able to do the things that they do. They have no empathy whatsoever. They are cold-blooded, empty individuals. And I know y'all know. Yeah. I know you know. Absolutely. And we're going to learn about these clowns today. where I not only learn about the different types, because there needs to be some clarification in regards to these types. All right? There's a difference between a type and a trait. There's a difference. Just like people think that an avoidant is a type of personality. An avoidant is not a personality type. Avoidant is a personality trait. Anybody can be an avoidant. NYN said, we know. Yeah, we know. We know. Spiritual Baddie said, very empty. He filled his void with other women, drugs, and money. And let me tell you something, Spiritual Baddie, other men too. Yeah, they go both ways. Don't ever get it twisted. They go both ways. Absolutely. They're hypersexual. They'll mess with anybody. If y'all see some of the people that they mess with, you would be so embarrassed that you were ever associated with these people. They get with anybody. These are free-for-alls. Free-for-alls. Any and everybody that had these people. I know a lot of y'all ladies just don't know. The dudes that y'all was messing with was getting bent over. Yep. Absolutely. And I don't have anything against people who are engaged in same-sex relationships. That's your business. My issue is with people who pretend. You pretend to be one thing and you're actually something else, and you get involved. You get people involved in your crap. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a liar. Yeah, but y'all was dealing with some dudes who was getting bent over, getting ran through. Yep, by multiple dudes. Don't get it twisted. They was bobbing for apples. They was doing all of that. Don't ever get it twisted. They're hypersexual. They're drug addicts. They're alcoholics. A lot of y'all don't know they be on them beans. Yeah. You thought they were just turned on by you like that, huh? Ladies, them dudes was on them blueies. And gentlemen, them girls was on some type of sexual enhancer. Yeah. X's, Molly's. Oh, yeah. They on all of that. And I know a lot of y'all know. Some of y'all don't know, though. Some of y'all don't even know the extent of how far these people really went. These were straight bust downs, y'all. Bust downs. Anybody could get with that. Yeah, anybody. They're disgusting. Filthy individuals. Very filthy. They do anything for attention, money, and clout. You're very welcome, Eve. You're very welcome. Very welcome. User Dottie or Dodie. Is that Dodie? Yeah, these are the worst of the worst. You ain't never been with. This is the worst relationship you ever had in your life. And I know you know. This was the worst. You feel me? Israel's mother squad in the building. What's good, Israel's mother? I love saying that handle right there. Yeah. Angela Sue Smith, thank you for coming through. Delia, thank you for coming through. Thank y'all for your engagement in the chat. That's what's up. Cha, bonjour, Cha. Squad in the building. Twyla J. Peace to you, Twyla. Hey, Taylor Rice, I see you laughing. He's like, dead ass. Real rap. Real rap. It ain't no game when you're dealing with these clowns. I hope y'all had a great day today, or I hope your day is starting. I know it's early morning for some of y'all. It's the afternoon for some of y'all. It's later in the evening for some of y'all. You've been in physical, DA, and mental. The mental abuse was the worst. Yeah. Mental and psychological abuse is horrible, especially when it's coming from people like these. Like, these are the slimiest, lowest level losers you ever want to meet in your life. You feel me? Angela Sue Smith, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad you're feeling it, Angela. Absolutely. Yeah, this is my way of healing. That's why I decided to come live with these things. Once I started, listen, I went through it. I was dealing with one of them clowns for almost 7 years. And the obsession, the obsession with ruining you is like ridiculous. Like, they will tell any lies on you, any ridiculous lies they will tell on you. And the sad part about it is people believe it. You feel me? That's the messed up part about it, is people believe it. It's jacked up. It's really jacked up. But what can you do? Like, I've gotten to a point, like, I'm comfortable with being talked about. I'm comfortable with being lied on. I'm comfortable with rumors. I'm comfortable with being hated, because I've gone through that type of stuff my entire life. And I know a lot of y'all have too. You feel me? And so it's just like the only thing you can do is not even worry about the lies they're telling on you. Just live as your authentic self. Eventually, it might take a long time, but eventually, people are going to see the truth, because their lies draw attention to you. You know what I'm saying? People start to want to see this person who's so horrible. They want to come to your page and check out, who is this horrible person. And when you're consistently just operating as your authentic self, which is the most effortless thing you could do, is just be you every day, eventually people start to see the truth. They start to see there ain't no way that person could be like that. And then they start to see the patterns of the narcissist, and they start to realize that they're dealing with a liar, a conniving, lying, cheating, thieving loser. You feel me? That's what narcissists are. Absolutely, Aston. It definitely can. Consistent exposure to stress can literally cause physical ailments that could take you out. Real rap. Liberty Mom, real rap. Absolutely. Yeah. It can literally take you out. People believe it and claim it's the Holy Spirit giving them discernment. Nah, it's not that. It's that these people who believe horrible lies about you wanted to believe those horrible lies about you. That's all. They wanted to believe that stuff because they wanted to not like you. They wanted a reason to not like you. Absolutely. Real people who are happy people, people who are about anything, you know what I'm saying? Only losers and lames believe lies about people. Only losers and lames believe the worst thing they hear about people because they're haters. You know what I'm saying? And haters want to hear bad things about people because haters are haters. They don't like people who they perceive as better than them, smarter than them, more creative than them, got more motion than them. They want a reason to hate these people because they're envious and jealous type people. That's in their nature. It's a character flaw. Just like cheating is a character flaw. It's something that can't be fixed. Can't be fixed. That's something that's in them. A hater is going to be a hater for the rest of their life. A lame is going to be lame for the rest of their life. A cheater going to be a cheater for the rest of their life. I don't care what nobody say. If you are a cheater, if you're somebody who could look somebody who care about you in their face and lie to them, and you could willingly go get with other, that's a character flaw. That's not mistakes. That's who you are, period. You can argue with your mama. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If you're a cheater, you'll always be a cheater. Always. That's a character flaw. That's something that can't be fixed. You know what I'm saying? A person with integrity doesn't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Real rap. A lot of time, Aston, they have material possessions because they sleep with anybody for anything. You feel me? They scam and steal. That's mostly what they do. They're liars, cheaters, and thieves. They steal and scam. That's how they end up with a lot of material items. That's how they end up with money, because they stealing from people. They scamming people. A lot of them is escorts for old people. Oh, yeah. They escort with senior citizens. Yeah. Get them for their social security checks and stuff like that. You feel me? Real rap. Real rap. Real rap. No lies. That's why they... Hey, Mo. In the building. Peace to you, Mo. Marsha, a.k.a. Glasses. Peace to you, Dina, Mina. Yeah, they scam since childhood. That's all they know how to do. Lie, cheat, and steal. That's it. Someone who could pick and choose which children to talk to based on who gives them attention. Yeah. And a lot of us, that is our first narcissistic experience, one of our parents. Isort. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly or not, but you said we know lies they did. If someone don't hear your part, that is the problem. Truthful guy. Yeah, the thing is, like, people who don't want to hear the other side. Hey, Michelle H. Bless. Peace to you. Bams. Baba. Baba. Peace to you. Yeah, people who, a lot, like I said, haters and envious and jealous people, they only want to hear the worst about people. They don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear the worst so that they have a reason to hate. Look at their hateful people. That's what narcissists are. They're hateful, bitter, miserable people. Only hateful people can do the things that they do. These ain't regular people. They pretend to be happy and all that, but it's all a performance. Their whole life is a performance. They just pretend to be happy. They're not happy. Happy people don't make rumors up about people. Happy people don't try to ruin people's lives. Happy people don't betray people who care about them. You feel me? I will, Dina Mina, absolutely. I'm gonna talk about covert, overt, malignant, and I'm gonna talk about something that y'all might not even be aware of. But these aren't. I'm gonna break it down because these aren't necessarily types. All right, these aren't necessarily types, and I'm gonna get into it in just a second. I love busting it up with y'all, and I didn't do it live yesterday. A few lives I haven't done because of the fact that I've been busy with like coaching, and I also do like a 7-day guaranteed program to get you over these clowns. It's guaranteed. 7-day, very intensive program. You know what I mean? And my goal is to have participant only lives, meaning I want a maximum of 20 people to do a live. I'm going to be doing a live with only 20 people in the live. Everybody's participating in the 7-day program, right? And that's the goal. But because this is only the first week that I started it, I only had 5 people who are interested. So what I decided to do is I do them personalized. So I'm doing the 7-day program each day with 5 different people. You know what I mean? Some of them are not doing them every day. We have a schedule for them, but I'm also doing coaching. You feel me? So it's like my days are pretty full. I start with the programs and the coaching from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. You know what I mean? And so sometimes, like I said, I don't have time to do it live. So I have later coaching and later program participants later this evening. So I just decided to come through and do it live real quick because I missed y'all. I missed y'all. I'm telling you, I love doing these lives, man. This is a passion for me. This is a passion. I want to educate you because I understand how liberating the education portion of this is. I went through it myself. And when I started to study this and I realized how learning and understanding about them, learning their traits, their behaviors, their patterns, it's liberating. This is going to help you get over it a lot faster. You feel me? And so I be wanting to come in and talk to y'all, man. I miss y'all. Hey, Grace, Janny. Thank you for that, Grace. I appreciate that. Mo, thank you, Mo. You know I be missing y'all. Real rap. And so I want to help y'all. I don't like bullies. I don't like narcissists. I'm about fairness. I'm about justice, man. That's my character. That's my nature. I'm community oriented. Even before I was doing this, I have a nonprofit, Fathers Fighting for Families Outreach Ministries. That's what F4 stands for, Fathers Fighting for Families, right? And so we target at-risk kids. So I had several programs, and I'm still gonna do that. But I was working on that with the knucklehead narcissists, and they really sabotaged the efforts. Like I had programs. We actually ran a summer program one summer, and then they had a facility, a house that she owned that, you know, she snatched the rug out from up under me. You know what I mean? Because she couldn't keep up with me. And all the lies that she's told people about how I'm nothing and I ain't gonna be nothing. She couldn't keep up with me, so she had to sabotage it. They block your resources, they sabotage your success. I had programs. I had a computer program called Vision, Virtual Student Home Monitor Program, for anybody who had students who homeschooled. What was happening is I started the idea in Philly, right? I worked in the human services in Philly for about 8.5 years, right? And what I noticed is that a lot of the homeschool students were actually homeschooling because they were behavioral problems. It wasn't by choice for a lot of parents, right? Yeah, a lot of people don't know homeschooling was the way that kids were taught up until 1970. 1970 is when the government came up with standardized learning because they figured that's a way that they're going to miseducate everybody, basically, right? But the people who were homeschooling prior fought for the right to homeschool, so they got their rights to homeschool back again, right? But now these days, a lot of the kids who homeschool are behavioral problems. So just imagine you got a kid who has already a behavioral problem. Now he's at home all day or she's at home all day while the parent is working. The grades started to go down, right? So I came up with an idea. How about we have Vision, which is Virtual Student Home Monitor Program, where parents would bring their kid there. We had hold 2 rooms for a computer lab. They do their work there. We have an on-site tutor to help them with their work. And the goal was to not only improve grades, but also to improve behavior through other program participation, right? And I was on a mission to do that. But that knucklehead, that's what they do. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to. They want to steal your stuff, but they don't want to see you succeed. Nah, you know what I'm saying? So that fell through. I even had a program for moms because I wanted to not only work with the students, but I wanted to extend that type of love to the household. Like, it's not a good thing to have kids go to this fluffy program where everything is good and positive and productive, and then they got to go back to a household that might not be, in line, or might not be as sturdy. So what I did is I started a program called Handyman. Like, I'm a builder. I could build a house from the foundation to the shingles. You feel me? I'm a great cook as well. And so in our program, we were going to do home ec. I was going to teach young boys how to do home improvements, but it started off with the mothers. It was called Handyman, where I taught women how to do basic home improvements. You feel me? I was excellent. I'm very community oriented. I'm very family oriented. I'm all about service. You know what I mean? But I just got tied up with somebody who's just filthy and nothing. A filthy nothing, a straight loser. Somebody who doesn't want to do anything but lie, cheat, and steal. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. However, I'm on a much better level right now. I'm actually making global impact. You know what I'm saying? Global. So I'm still going to bring those programs back eventually. But right now I'm on this. I'm an alchemist. I turn pain to power. I turn pain to purpose. You know what I mean? I'm not the one to just sit around, depressed and feeling bad and confused and all that other knucklehead stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to turn a negative to a positive. And that's what we have an ability to do. We turn negatives to positives. You feel me? And so when I was going through this confusing state of mind, like, how does somebody who I'm supposed to be locked in with, like, I thought we was folks. You know what I'm saying? I thought we was cool. We talked about all these future plans and all this other stuff, and come to find out that you filthy. You just a nothing, a liar, a thief, a cheater, somebody who sabotaged my success, block my resources, humiliate me, disrespect me, spread rumors about me, get other people to hate me for nothing, for nothing. That's the thing, for nothing. I didn't do nothing to this person. I was loyal and solid with this person. But they're so envious and jealous that your motion makes them feel less than. You feel me? It makes them feel less than. Nah, Manuel, don't waste your time. You can't change nobody, Manuel. You can change, and salute to you, Manuel Fernandez. You can't change anybody, whether it's a narcissist, you can't change anybody. You don't have the power to change anybody. A person has to want to change. And that's the problem with a narcissist. Hey, Star, peace to you, squad. That's the problem with a narcissist. A narcissist doesn't want to change because they don't feel like there's anything wrong with them. The only time that they're even going to consider changing or pretending like they're changing is when their reputation is at risk, when their freedom is at risk, or when somebody who they want in their life is about to leave them. Then they'll play a game. They only do it for manipulative reasons. They don't change sincerely because they don't think there's anything wrong with them. They like that filthy life that they live. You feel me? But like I was saying, when I went into the lab, bees in the lab, bees in the lab, real rap. When I went into the lab, started learning about these knuckleheads, I started to understand that this is liberating information. Scripture says, my people fell for lack of knowledge. So there's a lot of people who got caught up in depression, isolation, no movement. They just pretty much just hopeless and all that kind of stuff because they weren't educated on what this was that they were going through. And people who they were talking to weren't understanding them. You feel me? Then we get into a lot of self-blame. You can't self-blame. You didn't make a mistake. You only think you made a mistake because of hindsight. But you didn't make reckless decisions. You made healthy decisions with an unhealthy person. You were misinformed. So you can't continue to blame yourself as if you made a mistake, as if you purposely chose to be with a reckless person. That's not what they showed you in the beginning. They pretended to be something else. You thought this was a healthy individual. You thought this was a trustworthy individual. You thought they were like you. You thought they had integrity. You thought they could be trusted. You thought they were honest. They're not. They pretended to be that. They pretended. So you made decisions based off of misinformation. You didn't make reckless decisions. So stop blaming yourself. Get out of that. Get out of that self-blame nonsense because you didn't choose this. You didn't choose that type of person. You chose what you thought was a legitimate person. They were liars. They catfished you. They bamboozled you. You were hoodwinked. You feel me? So you weren't reckless in your decision making. So stop blaming yourself because it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Yes, we did overlook some red flags here and there. because we didn't understand that these type of people actually exist. We didn't know that there was people who we could show love and they would give us their ass to kiss. We didn't know there was these type of people who we be legitimate and straight up and honest and committed and obligated to them, and they gonna screw us behind our back, spread rumors behind our back, encourage people to hate us behind our back because they were jealous and envious. That's all it is. It was jealousy and envy that caused them to attack you. They shadow projected their garbage onto you. All the foul things that they do, they shadow projected that stuff onto you because they didn't want to have to deal with it, because they have relentless inner critics. So they put it on you, told everybody else that you do everything they do, and they had to attack you to show and prove to those people that you did it. They made themselves believe it. They made themselves believe it. So they telling everybody else, you're the liar, you're the cheater, you're the thief. So now they can't be cool with you. That's why a lot of them can't come back around. That's why a lot of them have to stay hating you for the rest of their life. They can't ever come back around you. They're going to come back around to ruin you, but they can't ever come back around you to make amends, because they've told so many people these lies about you. They've went so hard to destroy you, and they've got other people to help them. You feel me? So they can't come back. You feel me? They gotta always hate you. They always have to now force themselves to believe that you did something bad to them when you didn't do nothing bad to them. Nothing. And then when you reject them, when you go no contact with them, they become obsessed. They become obsessed now because they can't afford for you to actually achieve, because you're destined for greatness. They knew that. They saw the greatness in you already. That's why they were envious. That's why they were jealous. So they know that you're destined for greatness, and they know that if they don't do something to stop you, you're going to achieve. And guess what's going to happen as a result? Everybody's going to see that they were the loser. Everybody's going to see that they only hated on you because they couldn't keep up with you. That's all it was. All of this evil stuff they do to you, all these things they do to try to ruin your life is simply because of the fact that they're envious and jealous of you, and because of the fact that they already smeared your name to the extent that they can't pull back now. They have to keep going. So they literally have to force themselves to hate you. They have to force themselves to believe lies about you. Ain't that sick? Ain't that sick? They literally have to force themselves. Now, they don't hate you for real because they ain't got no reason to hate you. None whatsoever. They don't have no reason to hate you whatsoever. Every reason that they got to hate you, they made it up. They made it up. It was all lies. That's it. These people make false documentation to put online. They make false health reports, false everything, false police reports, false everything, to make you look bad, because they have to keep going with it now because they went too far. You feel me? They went too far. They were so envious and so jealous, and they're so hateful. They're such miserable, hateful, bitter people that they have to keep going now. So at this point, they have to make themselves not like you. They don't have no legitimate reason not to like you. Every reason they don't like you for, they made it up. They made it up. They've spread rumors and lies to people who were absolute strangers, people you don't even know, who are now actually making up more rumors and lies about you. Yeah, that's the sickness of these people. That's why you be wasting your time to try to prove that you're not what they say. Who cares what lame say about you? Who cares what a loser says about you? Who cares? Who cares, really? Because they're not going to do anything to stop you. God is in control of this. You on God's time. God is the one who sent you to do this mission. God is the one who prepared you for this. God is the one who give you your intellect, your drive, your motivation, all of that. They can't stop nothing. People who fall out of your life, they make up lies about why they fell out of your life. That's why they can't never come back around. That's why they can't never be cool with you again, because they've smeared your name so horribly. Now people would question them. Well, I thought you said they were so bad. Why are you back cool with them? So they can't. They can't come back around. There's people that y'all fell out with who can't come back around because they done talk so much junk about you. They got to continue to hate you. So they literally have to force themselves to hate you. That's the sickness, because they have no legitimate reason not to hate you. Nothing legitimate. There's people who you don't even know. You've never done anything to these people. They just saw you, saw what you about, see how you move, got jealous and envious, made up a lie about you so they could justify why they don't like you. They don't like you because they're jealous of you and they're envious of you. But they can't tell people that. So they have to make up some lie. Oh yeah, I grew up with them. They was like this when they grew up, or I let them borrow some money. You don't even know these people. You ain't never borrowed nothing from them. Y'all ain't grow up together. Man, I've been to the penitentiary twice, right? I've had people lie who live here in Pennsylvania, lying about they did time with me, and I ain't never did no prison time here in Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, they was bending him over in jail, yada yada. All these lies. You ain't never been to prison with me because I wasn't getting down like that in prison. I was very well respected. I was a tutor in prison, and I sold bud. You feel me? Very well respected. I helped over 1,000 people get their GED. I had two independent classes with no supervision for almost 3 years. No incidents, no fights, none of that. But these people make up these lies because they're so jealous of you, right? So they got to make up lies. Yeah, they was bending him over. No, they wasn't pimping. You can't even name what prison you was at with me. These people never been out of the state. I did time way down south. You feel me? But this is what people do. And because other people want to hate you anyway, they believe the nonsense. Thank you for that, Lay's Bugles Nacho Cheese. Hey, this contributes to it right here. Carrots and orange juice. Carrots and oranges juiced. And it tastes good too. You don't need no sweetener or nothing. But yeah, it's real crazy the things that people will make up to justify why they don't like you, when in reality they only don't like you because they're envious of you. You feel me? Yeah, they just don't like you because they're envious. But they can't tell people, oh, I don't like them because I envy them. I don't like them because I'm a jealous-hearted person. They got to make up a lie. They'll even tell other people that you said stuff about them. You don't even know none of these people. You ain't the type of person that walk around spreading rumors about people, making up lies about people. You don't even get down like that. Who has time for that? What legitimate? Only lames do that. Only losers do that. You feel me? And that's what these people are. They're lames and losers. That's why you don't need to even be worried about what they saying about you. It's irrelevant. Let them say whatever they want to say about you. They the ones who's going to look stupid in the end, because they're not going to stop your grind. They're not going to stop you getting your change. They're not going to stop your elevation. They're not going to stop you fulfilling your purpose. They're not going to stop anything. The only thing they do by hating on you is make themselves look ridiculous in the end when you show and prove that you're nothing like all these people talking about. You know what I mean? And you look better when you don't even try to prove nothing to these clowns. For what? These are losers and lames. These are individuals who mess with dirty, filthy people. These are individuals who have no motion, no creativity, no personality. They're not funny. Half of them, hygiene sucks. These are sewer life people. These are nothings. These are people who are way beneath you. Why would you be trying to prove anything to these nothings? 5, 10 years from now, when you up here living your best life, they still going to be in the same position, in the same neighborhood, hanging with the same people. Nothing's going to change in their life, and they still going to be hating on people. Still praying to God for your downfall. Still watching you, though. Yeah, I see them clowns right now. They sitting here talk about how much they don't like me and how much I ain't nothing, but they can't stop watching me. Nah, reporting my videos, reporting the lives, goofy stuff, weirdo stuff, because they ain't got nothing else going on in their life. Nothing. They have nothing going on unless they scamming somebody or sleeping with somebody for money or getting busted down at some party or doing drugs or getting drunk, doing weak, lame stuff. You feel me? This is who these people are. So why in the world would you be worried about what they saying about you? What they saying don't carry no weight. They talking to a bunch of losers and lames like them. Some of these people got more money than you, more prestige, more material things, and they're still lame. They're still losers because money can't buy solid. Money can't buy solid. You feel me? They can't be solid. They'll never be solid. They'll always be haters. They'll always be jealous, envious, bitter, miserable nothings. You feel me? Why are you worried about them? Pretty soon they ain't even gonna be able to see you. They'll only be able to see you on social media. That's it. So why worry about what they talking about? It's a waste of time. They only have all that time because they don't have nothing else going on in their life. Nothing good. Nothing. These is dirty people, trifling people. They don't even trust each other. They hang around a whole bunch of people. All of them will betray each other at the drop of a dime. All of them snakes. They can't even trust the people who they around. A lot of these people, nobody even pays attention to what they talk about unless they talking about you. Do y'all know that? There's a lot of people that nobody ain't even seen. They're not even heard. The only time that people listen to what they saying is when they mention your name because everybody waiting to hear some bad news about you. Yeah, you that thorough. And it's effortless. It's effortless. You ain't got to pretend and perform and fake like they do. These are straight frauds. These individuals who are not, these people got to pretend to be somebody else just to make it through life. We've been attacked for who we are our whole life. Since birth, we've been attacked. We've been lied on, rumored about, shunned. You know what I'm saying? Backstabbed, betrayed our whole freaking life just because of who we are. And guess what? We still show up as us every single day. Boldly, courageously, we show up as us every single day. These clowns got to pretend to be somebody else just to make it through life. Do you know how pathetic that got to be? You got to be an Emmy Award winning actor or actress just to make it through life. You got to pretend to be somebody else to the extent that you have to fool yourself into believing you're somebody else. You know how pathetic that is? That's pathetic. Why are you worried about people like that? These are nothings. These are people who hate themselves. They are disgusted with who they are. So they have to pretend to be somebody else. And they make themselves feel better by hating on people who got motion, people who are creative, people who are funny, people who got something going on in their life, people who have goals. You feel me? They got to hate on people who's actually doing something. So listen to the dynamic. You got a nothing who does nothing, ain't got no kind of plans, ain't got no kind of motion, no kind of creativity, nothing. They're just nothing. And they hate on somebody who's got movement. They hate on somebody who's trying to help humanity. That's even crazier. Somebody who don't care about nobody but themselves hate on somebody who care about humanity. They hate on somebody who's trying to do something to help other people. That's lame. That's lame. And the only people who listen to their garbage is other lames like them. That's it. So you got a bunch of lames, a bunch of losers sitting around making up lies about you to make themselves feel better, even though they know the truth. Velvet Vision Collective, peace to you, squad. Hey, don't be hurt, no Velvet Vision. I see. Yo, don't be hurt, no Velvet Vision. Don't hurt them. Yeah, I hope you had a good day today. I hope you having a good day. You feel me? But yeah, like you said, we saying worried about daggone haters. For what? For what? Why are we wasting our thought process on nothings? And this is who these people are. They're nothing. These is nothing. These people is like sludge on the bottom of your shoe. Stuff you try to scrape off when you get in the grass. You know what I'm saying? Just straight garbage. Just nothing. They ain't got no, man, listen. The only people that listen to them talk is losers like them. The only people who believe their lies is other haters and other losers. You don't even need to worry about these clowns. Because your authentic walk, you being you, it's gonna blow all that nonsense out the water anyway. Yeah, they don't do nothing but just give you a bigger crowd to watch you shine. That's all. They just increasing the losers who watching you shine. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Straight goofies. You know what I mean? V1, V11 X coil. I know I said that all wrong, but oh yeah, I am fun around to be. I'm definitely fun. I'm thorough people. I'm sure you are too. We got a whole community of solid folks right here. We got a whole community of people right here who losers don't believe exist. Losers and lames think everybody's a liar Everybody's a cheater. Everybody's a thief. They really believe that. They think everybody is like them. So with you, they thought you were faking. Yeah, they thought you was faking. They didn't think you was as solid as you was because they've never been around nobody solid. Everybody they ever been around is a snake. And they think everybody's a snake. You feel me? But we got a whole community of solid folks right here. Why do you think I want to do the meet and greets? Yes, we have a meet and greet in Houston, Texas, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. If you're interested, message me. I'll send you the information. Excuse me. I'll send you the information, right? But also, anyone in Charlotte, North Carolina, or surrounding areas, June the 8th, I will be doing my first seminar, my first local seminar, and I'm going to make it a habit. My goal is to do 3 per week, whether they're in the same state or what. But I will be doing 3 different cities per week eventually, but we just getting started. The first one was supposed to be this month. It was supposed to be on the 16th in ATL. Unfortunately, the lady who was helping me get it started, we're still going to do it, but she unfortunately got into a car accident and she broke her arm. You know what I'm saying? So she needs some time to heal up. So eventually we're going to spin the block on that. All right. But we changed it up now. And we're going to, man, I got some incredible people in my life these days. Incredible people. You know what I'm saying? People who believe in this cause and they willing to help. You know what I'm saying? But it's not just about people helping. Believe me, this is a give and take, equal give and take situation. Nobody's going to be required to just give up their time and energy just for nothing. Everyone's going to benefit from this, and that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? So, June the 8th, we're scheduled for Charlotte, North Carolina, June the 8th. We're going to be doing a seminar. I think it's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or something like that. And I believe that day is on a Wednesday or something. I'm not sure, but just looking, you can see it on the calendar. But it's basically going to be understanding narcissism, breaking the trauma bond, and the seminar is going to be, you think I bring it in these lives, I'm bringing it in these seminars. You feel me? And I'm traveling with it. And the goal is not only to educate individuals, not only to help individuals heal, but also to bring us collectively together. We're only doing like a maximum of 30 people per seminar, right? Because we don't want it too huge. We want it more personal. We want to be able to rap. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. And we want to meet each other. You feel me? And I'm going to increase these populations of us, this population of safe space community, solid folks all over the globe eventually. It is not going to be limited to just here in the States, believe me. Man, we're going to have our first international meet and greet convention in the UK. I think it's February of 2028. Yep, and then we're going from there. But in between those, I don't want to have to wait months in between for us to get together. And I also don't want to have to I pick a spot and tell everybody, all right, y'all just show up. Nah, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely look forward to meeting individuals who are interested in me coming to your city or whatever. Message me and you can help me collaborate that. You feel me? You can help me get that together. All right. And the goal for every city is 30 people. That's the goal. All right. And we're going to do this. I do what I say I'm going to do. I ain't just no talker. I'm a doer. You feel me? I do what I say I'm going to do. And so this is about to be huge. So the thing is, we bringing folks together. I'm about community. I'm about unity. Definitely. And understand, y'all, these strategies and this education that I bring regarding narcissism, we live in a narcissistic culture. Scripture says we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. High places is not in the sky. High places is in society. You feel me? So this is something that that narcissist that you were dealing with is not the only narcissist that you're going to deal with. God allowed you to go through that to make you aware, to wake you up, abracadabra, to help you to learn their strategies, help you to learn how they move, help you to learn the traits, help you to learn to recognize these clowns so you know how to move around them. Because there's a whole lot of narcissists that you're going to meet as you elevate. And so now you're going to recognize these clowns. Now you're not going to be gaslit. Now you're not going to be triggered. You feel me? You're going to learn how to maneuver around these clowns. But also, these things, these tactics that you incorporate into your life is just a part of life, period. We live in a messed up world. We live in a wonderful world with messed up people. I'll say it like that. So this isn't just about narcissism. This is about anyone bad, anyone negative, any hater, any lame. You feel me? This helps you move around these clowns. This helps you to still continue to have an abundant life without having it sabotaged by garbage people. You feel me? Yeah, because these people are straight garbage. And it's not just narcissists that's garbage. Believe me, there's other ones too. And we about to get into the lessons with me saying that right there. So dig it, y'all. Listen, this is the Light Bulb Live. Welcome to the Light Bulb Live. Not only we stay lit up in this place, not only because we're all full of light and collectively we glowing all over the globe, but we also receive them light bulb moments consistently, them aha moments, because I bring that heat. That's my goal. My goal is to bring 100% effective lessons every live. So if you're making comments and I don't see them, do not get discouraged. Just because I'm looking at the screen, a lot of times I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm looking at you because I'm talking directly to you. I'm also talking to them knucklehead haters and them lames who's watching me too. You feel me? So I'm not looking at the screen to see the comments, but I'm not ignoring you. Every live, I go over all of these comments after the live. I go over all of them, all right? Sometimes there's probably people in here that can attest to the fact that I may respond to one of your comments depending on what it is. You feel me? I don't get into giving advice and all that stuff through messages. I never reach out to you first. I only respond. I don't reach out. All right? So if anybody claiming to be me, hitting you up and you ain't hit me up first, it's a fraud. There's someone who just brought to my attention it was a fake page hitting people up. But she said, what's her name? Demi. She said that she recognized, like, nah, he don't even talk like this. It was somebody that was claiming to do tarot reading. I don't do no daggone tarot reading. All right. So if you see a page and it doesn't have @AlMalikTaylor, it ain't me. All right. And I don't reach out first. I'm only going to respond to you reaching out to me first. Absolutely, I am happy to be. A lot of that fraud stuff going on, right? So nah, I don't get down like that. Okay. So dig, like I said, my goal is to bring 100% effective lessons, and I go over the comments because I want to look at the low engagement points. I want to fix that. Wherever there's low engagement, I want to tweak the lessons and bring them back to make sure it's high engagement. You feel me? My goal is to help. Salute to you, Michael. Peace to you, bro. How you doing? Good to see you up in here, squad. Thank you for speaking. Appreciate you. All right? So dig, in these lives, y'all, I always encourage you to have a journal because I'm telling you, I bring that heat. And a lot of things that you can learn a lot. And you don't want to just try to remember. You want to write things down so you can remember, right? Journaling is going to be a very big part of your journey. Very big part of your healing empowerment. You feel me? And we strive to use the word empowerment more than healing because we're not just healing. Healing is just like a scar healing up to be pretty much like it was with a scar. We're not going to be the same. We're going to be empowered. We're going to be better. That's why God allowed us to go through this because we're going to be better. Too blessed to be stressed. Peace to you, squad. Glad to see you up here. I knew my folks were going to start coming through better. Too blessed to be stressed. Peace to you, squad. Glad to see you up here. I knew my folks were going to start coming through. We're not going to be the same. All right? And so during this empowerment journey, journaling is going to be a large part of it. It's going to be a large part of it. You feel me? Also, when you journal, I suggest using a pen, right? Not a pencil. Pencil could fade and you don't want something that you can erase with. Even if you use a pen, you don't want to scratch stuff out. If you think you made a mistake, and a lot of times, understand this, we don't make mistakes. Scripture says all things works to the good of those who are in Christ Jesus. We don't make mistakes. And while I said that, Christ Jesus, I know that word is very sensitive to a lot of people because of the picture. We don't worship no picture. That picture of a Jesus is not Jesus. There is no description of Jesus in the Bible except he had hair like wool, eyes red like fire, feet like burnt brass. There is no visual picture. We don't worship a picture, so we don't get caught up in that. A lot of people refuse to believe in God. They refuse to believe in Jesus because of that picture. There are no pictures. There are no descriptions. There aren't any descriptions of angels either. So those angels where they're like and touching each other's finger, that stuff is garbage. Don't let your mind be tricked. Don't let Satan trick you into not believing in the Lord. You feel me? Don't let these goofies right here. Here go a goofy right here. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go, pimping. Yeah, we're gonna let you go. But we don't want to allow these images to fool us into not believing in the Lord. I'm telling you, man, it's hard for me to even understand how people can't believe in a God, in the God. It's like it's wild, right? But we ain't gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into that. The Lord gonna call whoever it is that he sees fit, and he's gonna use us to reach these people. That's what we do. We just open our mouth. People give me a lot of credit and a lot of props, and I appreciate it, but this ain't me. This is God. God made me who I am. God speaks through me. God gave me my intellect. He gave me my articulation. He gave me my desire to want to learn. He gave me my desire to want to help people. He gave me my desire to want to be of service. You feel me? So I ain't like Satan trying to take God's credit, trying to take God's shine. I ain't like these narcissists trying to take our shine that comes from God. You feel me? I strive to be a humble man. You feel me? And I understand where my power comes from. It ain't coming from me. All right, so dig, like I said, we don't make mistakes. So if you think you made a mistake when you're journaling, if you think you're making a mistake, make a line through it and then continue to put whatever it is you're going to put, because when you go back and read it later, you're tapped in. You are tapped in. You are an intuitive. You are a modern day prophet, whether you understand it at this point or not. You're tapped in. A lot of what you learned about these narcissists came intuitively. God spoke to you. God woke you up. God told you this person ain't no good. God told you this person is cheating. So a lot of the intuitive hits that you've had, and you brought this stuff to the narcissist's attention, and they tell you, oh, you're overthinking, you're insecure. That's gaslighting, because they know you was on point. All right? You're tapped in. That's who Jezebel targeted prophets. Yes, she did target some rich people because she wanted riches and she wanted clout. But she also promoted false gods, and she needed false prophets to help her promote these false gods. And what do you think she would hate more than anything else? Real prophets. She hates real prophets. So Jezebel's spirit, which is narcissism, the demon that possesses a narcissist, that spirit targets truth tellers. That spirit targets intuitives, modern day prophets. That's who you are. You're never. Scripture says a prophet is never respected in his own hometown. Don't nobody want to believe that you tapped in. Man, I went to school with that dude. Man, get out of here. I know that girl. She ain't nothing. Yeah, they don't want to believe that you're tapped in, but you are. That's why you were targeted. You feel me? All right. So I say that again. So when you go back to reread your journal, right? You're going to see that thing that you line out, you're going to be like, oh, that's what that meant. Yeah. If you had scratched it out, you would have never got it. You feel me? And so you don't want to scratch nothing out. All right. And you want to understand that you are tapped in. Don't let nobody talk you out of it. That was the goal. That was the goal, for Satan to get you to dim yourself, for Satan to get you to shrink yourself, to convince you that you're not who you are. That was the goal, using all these demons your whole life to convince you that you ain't nothing. Elton, salute to you, sir. Thank you for coming through. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Michelle. Yep, Steelers in the building. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, for real. So that was the goal. The goal was to get you off track. The goal was to make you believe that you're not who you actually are. And this is not to make you feel like you're better than nobody or anything like that. This is to make you understand and help you understand who you are and how important you really are. You have a mission here. You're not just here for nothing. You're not the nothing that everybody said you were. You're here for a reason. All right? You got a mission. You feel me? You definitely got a mission. And this situation that you went through with the narcissist was not punishment. This was to wake you up. You understand? There's scripture in the Bible that speaks about a prophet named Hosea. I don't know why I feel like I got to say this. I just try to be obedient. There's scripture in the Bible that speaks about a prophet named Hosea, who God told Hosea to literally go marry a whore. Yes. And Hosea had children with her, and she left him with the kids and ran out in the streets, right? The goal was for God to allow Hosea to feel his pain, the same pain that God feels when we cheat on him, when we start to chase other gods, when we start to believe in man, when we start to deny God. God feels pain, and he wants a lot of us to feel that same pain so we understand. Why? Because that understanding is going to motivate us to do our job. It's going to motivate us to understand how God loves us, what pain he goes through watching us skip around and worship other things other than him. He wants us to feel that. You understand? It's because it makes it more relatable. We understand now. We understand God's pain because we've dealt with a daggone, what was Gumar? Gumar was her name. Right? Well, understand, y'all, Gumar could be a female or a male. And a lot of you ladies was messing with a male Gumar. Y'all were messing with someone who betrayed your love, who betrayed your loyalty. So you feel the same pain that God feels when he's being betrayed, when we're choosing other things. You feel me? He wants us to be able to relate. That's why I'm able to relate to a lot of different people, because I've been through a lot of different type of pain. I understand what it is to be an abused child. I understand what it is to be an addict. I understand what it means to be a homeless kid. I understand what it means to be in rehab, what it means to be in a mental institution, what it means to be locked up. I know what it's like to be hungry in a so-called civilized country. I know. And that increases my passion to want to help people who are going through these type of things. What's good, you right, bro? So I know what it feels like. So God wanted us to feel that same pain. So he allowed us to go through it with one of these Gumars. He allowed us to see what it feels like to be betrayed by somebody who you love, somebody who you want the best for. He wanted us to know what it feels like to keep receiving them back. Like we go back and forth with these clowns. The same thing he does when you got people that's running out in the streets doing this garbage. Then they run back to the Lord. Please forgive me. And then for a little while you good. Then you're running back out there doing the same thing again. He wants us to feel that so we can relate. It increases our passion to do our work. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't because you made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake. You made healthy decisions, healthy choices with an unhealthy person. That's it. You were misinformed. You didn't purposely choose to be with these knuckleheads. Anyway, all right. So anyway, let's get started. All right. Dig it. If you're ready, if you got your journal, you got your pen, you ready to go, please put ready on the screen with some light bulb emojis. Please do not forget the light bulb emojis, y'all. And let's tap up the screen as well. Let's keep tapping it up. The goal every live is 100 G's. Not because we want likes. We don't give a damn about no likes. We don't care about that. No, those numbers pushes this out into more FYPs so we can increase our community. All right. So if you're ready, put ready on the screen with some light bulb emojis. And I only need to see a couple. Bet. Thank you, Donna Washington, Jasmine Gandera. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. All right, let's go. Understanding narcissism, y'all. This is a clear, structured breakdown of the types and classifications. The types and classifications. Now listen, here's an introduction. There's not one universally agreed upon number of narcissistic types. All right? Listen. There's not one universally agreed upon number of narcissistic types, right? This is because narcissism is studied across multiple perspectives. All right. That's how a lot of specialists understand what a narcissist is based off their character, their behaviors, their traits, their patterns. Right. So there's no one number that all specialists agree upon in regards to narcissistic types. But listen, It's studied across multiple perspectives, meaning clinical psychology, research-based personality theory, and popular and applied psychology. These are ways that narcissism is studied. To remove confusion, though, this lesson organizes narcissism into clear, practical categories for understanding and teaching, right? So listen. Clinical classification. This is the most official. This is the most official classification for this. Informal psychology as defined by the DSM-5. DSM-5 is Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. That's what DSM-5 means, right? All right. According to that, there is only one recognized diagnosis, only one recognized type. That is narcissistic personality disorder. However, there are traits. Now continue to listen. So there's only one actual diagnosis, and that's narcissistic. That's NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Core traits of narcissistic personality disorder are grandiosity, lack of empathy, need for excessive admiration, and a sense of entitlement, right? These are the core traits of a narcissist: grandiosity, lack of empathy, a need for they need excessive attention, right? And a sense of entitlement, right? They obsess over money, clout, and attention, okay? So here's a key clarification, though. The DSM-5 does not divide narcissism into types. It doesn't divide it into types, all right? Instead, it defines narcissism as a spectrum of traits. A spectrum of traits that vary in expression and severity. So the traits a lot of times are considered a type by people who aren't really understanding, right? So these aren't necessarily types. These are traits, okay? So listen, the core research-based types, right? The most practical model. Most psychological researchers and clinicians recognize two primary forms of narcissism. And someone asked about it earlier. They asked about the covert, and that's one of them. One of the two primary types of narcissists is an overt and a covert. Overt, all right, listen to the word. Overt is over. They're over the top. Right? Over the top. So they're grandiose. This is the grandiose narcissist. This is the narcissist that's, yeah, look at me. I'm that dude. I'm that girl. Look at my car. Look at my house. Look at my clothes. Look at my watch. You know what I'm saying? This is a grandiose narcissist. That's the overt. That's the overdoing it narcissist, right? All right, the way they come about. This is how they present themselves. They're outgoing, dominant, confident. Externally, they're outgoing, dominant, and confident, right? They seek power, status, and admiration, right? Often appears charismatic and high achieving. That's how they appear, because these are pretenders. These are performers, okay? Their behavior pattern, open displays of superiority, strong need to be recognized and validated, right? Specialist insight, Dr. Craig Malkin describes this type as an individual who is addicted to feeling special or superior. That's the overt. That's the one who thinks that they're better than everybody. Yeah, because they got money, because they got status. But they're losers too. And that's only external. That's only an act. That's only a performance. All narcissists hate themselves. They can't stand themselves. They don't like who they are. Being them sucks. All right? That's why they have to pretend to be somebody else. Okay? So that grandiosity, that's only a performance. All right, so don't get it twisted. Now, somebody mentioned, oh man, I'm sorry I can't remember that lady's name. I'm sure she's still in here though. The vulnerable narcissist, the covert, the cover. Think of it like this: the cover, the covert, the undercover narcissist, the sneaky one. All right. That's the covert. That's the one that pretends to be vulnerable, right? They present themselves as more hidden, they're sensitive, and they're defensive, right? They feel unappreciated or misunderstood. Wowsy, poor me. Nobody understands. That's that goofy, right? That's the one that cry and all that stuff, right? But it's all for manipulation, okay? Don't get it twisted, okay? They feel unappreciated or misunderstood, right? They may present themselves as insecure or victimized. They're always the victim. Now, all narcissists play the victim role. Yeah, they're either the hero or the victim in all of their stories. They're never the culprit, right? Well, we know they're always the culprit, okay? So here's their behavior pattern. Indirect need for validation, right? Emotional reactivity and defensiveness, meaning if you give them soft constructive criticism, I mean very soft, you give them constructive criticism that's going to help them and they still take it as an attack. They're very brittle. All narcissists are very insecure. They're the most insecure people on the planet. That's why they have to pretend to be somebody else. So you have the overt who pretends to be this grandiose, superior one, and then you have the covert who pretends to be so vulnerable and wowsy, slap rock type. You feel me? Goofy. All right? Here's a specialist insight by Dr. Ramani Durvasula. She explains this type as fragile but still entitled underneath. They're fragile, but they're still entitled. Hey, Nisha, peace to you, Nish. They're fragile, but they're still entitled. They still feel like they don't have to follow the rules that us peasants have to follow. Yeah, they're above us still, but they're very fragile, weak. They pretend to be. That's the overt, Sadiq. The overt narcissist. The over-the-top narcissist, that's the one that's grandiose and feels superior. And the covert is the undercover narcissist. All right? Hey, Jennifer, peace to you. That's what's up, Jen. You on time, because we just got started. That's what's up, Jelly Bean. Glad to see you up in here. Glad you made it on time. All right, so listen. See, this is where some of the confusion comes in. Now, we just explained that the overall diagnosis, according to the DSM, right, which is the Diagnosis Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, edition 5, right? According to the DSM, there is one diagnosis. That is narcissistic. That's NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. But there are two types within that diagnosis. That's the covert and the overt. The overt, over the top, grandiose. The covert, undercover, insecure. What's the exact word would be for them? Would be the vulnerable narcissist. Okay, but there are subtypes. Okay, there are subtypes that people generally confuse with a type. All right, there's only one type, that is narcissist, but there are subtypes. Everybody has narcissistic traits. Let's keep it a buck. We all got a dark side, okay? We just don't choose to operate like that. And once we're aware of it, we learn to correct that, because some of these things are unconscious. Some of these things come from our unhealed childhood wounds. You feel me? So everybody has narcissistic traits. Everybody's not a narcissist. All right? And we're going to get into the traits. And it's easy to remember these, because I'm going to show you how to remember them, all right? Common subtypes, right? There are no official diagnoses, but are widely, these are not official diagnoses, but are widely used to understand behavioral patterns in real life situations, okay? We need to understand some of these diagnoses and the severity of them. You feel me? We need to understand some of the diagnoses and the severity of them. We need to understand how far they'll go, right? We need to understand that. We need to understand how far they'll go and how dangerous they are, okay? We need to understand that. So here we go. The malignant narcissist. The malignant narcissist. This is the most dangerous one. This is the malignant narcissist is the ones that put hands on you. Yeah, this is the ones that get violent. Okay? So dig it. Narcissism combined with aggression and a lack of conscience. It's narcissism combined with aggression and a lack of conscience, right? All right? So listen. manipulative, controlling, and potentially harmful. All right? Here's some associated concepts with a malignant narcissist. It's called the dark triad. The dark triad is what describes a malignant narcissist. This is narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy all mixed in together. They're the most dangerous ones. All right? The malignant. This is the dark triad narcissist, right? Narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, right? These three, that's what makes up a malignant, and a malignant is a very high risk level. The malignant narcissist is the one that will put their hands on you. They're the ones who are more violent, all right? My father was one of those. Yeah. Okay? They're high risk for emotional and psychological harm. All right? High risk. So these are the ones you want to be careful of. Now, we get into the less obvious types. These are less obvious, but if you're paying attention, this is what's going to help you recognize these clowns, right? You have what's called a communal narcissist. Remember, communal. Communal is community, right? Think of communal as community, right? A communal narcissist appears to be helpful, giving, and community focused. These are the daggone pastors, or these are the ones who run scams to get donations because they're so-called gonna be dealing with the community and stuff like that. They're the ones that try to act like they're the goody-goodies. They want to help people and yada, yada, yada. They only want to help people to the extent that they get attention or money. All right? These are them Georgie Porgy sneaky pastors. You feel me? Them pimps in the pulpit. Those types. The communal narcissist, right? Appears helpful, giving, and community focused. They're the type of people that will do diabolical stuff and then do some community stuff, some giveaways to make people think that they're good people. All right? They seek recognition for being quote unquote good or selfless, but they're really not. They're pretending. Okay? And you can tell they're pretending because they're not consistent with it. Okay? They only do it to get attention or money. Their behavioral pattern uses generosity or kindness as a source of validation. Yeah. They could do something diabolical, but then do some community service and be like, see, I'm a good person though. God know my heart. You feel me? God know my heart. They're those people. They're those type of people who do all the diabolical, weird stuff. Filthy, hateful things to people. They're the gossipy old ladies in the church. But God know my heart. You feel me? Yeah, God know your heart. He know you filthy. He know you foul too. Yeah, he ain't slow. He know you just hiding behind that community service just so you won't be judged. Yeah, God know my heart. Yeah, God ain't the only one that should know your heart. If you a good person for real, people should see it in your actions. Your consistent actions. But usually the people who say that is usually the ones who's doing the filthy stuff, all out in the streets, clubbing every daggone weekend, still smell like daggone alcohol when they run into church on Sunday from Saturday night. God know my heart. Yeah, sleeping with any and everybody. God know my heart. Yeah, that's those people. All right? Next, you have the somatic narcissist. Somatic, right? Somatic deals with the physical body, right? Somatic therapy is movement therapy. It's therapy to move the trauma that's stored in your body. It's to move that out, right? But it's about body. Somatic is with body. Now, you're going to understand what I mean when I break this down. So the somatic narcissist focuses on their physical appearance, their body, or their attractiveness. They're always talking about how good they look. They're always fixing their hair, brushing their beard, always fixing their clothes, always. That's the somatic narcissist. That's the narcissist that's conceited. That's the conceited narcissist. All right? You won't really tell. You just think they're a conceited person. No, this is the conceited narcissist. Always focusing on their looks. Always judging people in accordance to their looks. Right? Yeah. So dig. They're always focused on their physical appearance, their body, or their attractiveness, right? They seek validation through their looks or sexual appeal. Yeah, they're the ones that dress provocatively, males and females. They them goofy dudes that wear sweatpants with no boxers or no drawers, right? With high shirts. Creepy. That's creepy. That's creepy. That's you know what I'm saying? That's sex offender, you know what I'm saying? Similarities. You know what I mean? That's like suspect. They're those type of people. They're those type of people. Like, they got muscles, so they always wear their little brother's shirt. You feel me? Always gotta be. These are the somatic narcissists. Yeah. All right. They seek validation through their looks or their sex appeal. All right. Here's their behavioral pattern. External image is central to their self-worth. Their external image, what they look like, that is central to their self-worth. Okay? They're ridiculous with it. And I know a lot of people that are like that too. Males and females. Yeah, absolutely. Males and females. And they won't claim to be a narcissist, but that's narcissistic behavior. That's the somatic narcissist. They're always focused on the body. Then you have the cerebral narcissist. Cerebral. Speaking of the brain, cerebral, right? The cerebral narcissist focuses on intelligence, knowledge, or intellectual dominance. They're the people who belittle people with their intellect. They're the people who use the big words, the unnecessary big words, right? To belittle people, right? They use their intellect. They're superior to you. You're beneath me. They try to purposely speak on a higher level. They're the ones who focus on their articulation. They use these grandiose words around regular people when it's not even necessary. When it's not necessary. But they pride themselves on that. They pride themselves on being the most intelligent in the room. Nobody's as smart as me. Yeah. Yeah, that's the cerebral narcissist. Yeah, they think they're smarter. But a lot of times they're only smart in one area. I told you, when I tutored in prison, both teachers, I tutored English and math, right? Both those teachers admitted that they were only smart in their subject. They admitted that they were heavily lacking in every other subject. You feel me? They were heavily lacking. So a lot of these cerebral narcissists are only intelligent in one area. You know them people, like some of them people that want to break down the Bible. And they want to get into all the philosophical aspects of the Bible. The Bible has 2 golden rules. If you pay attention to these 2, you ain't got to worry about all that other nonsense. Because all that other nonsense is just a means for the devil to trick you. There are 2 golden rules that sum up the whole Bible. First of all, the Old Testament is full of warnings. All those prophets, those were warnings. That's God warning you and him giving you examples of what happens if you don't follow. Those were all warnings. The New Testament, it's the gospel. I mean, it's the disciples in the beginning, and then it's letters that Paul wrote to all the churches. So Philippians is the letters written to the people of Philippi. Hebrews is Romans is the letters written to the people in Rome. You know what I'm saying? These were letters. The whole New Testament is letters that Paul wrote. All right. And this is how they kept the monitored churches and stuff like that. But there are 2 golden rules. 2, if you focus on these 2 things, you're going to be all right. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Why wouldn't you love the Creator? Why wouldn't you love the person who keep your heart beating, who keep you breathing? Because if somebody were to ask you, how do you keep yourself breathing in the middle of the night? What do you do to keep your heart beating? How do you separate the food that you eat through all them little arteries? I remember we was in school, and we in biology and science and all that, and we saw all them little arteries, how the food is broken down into them arteries, and it goes to different parts of your body and all that kind of stuff. How do you do that? You can't explain it. Nobody can explain it. You may explain the concept, but you can't tell nobody how you keep your heart beating, because you don't. You don't keep your heart beating. God keeps your heart beating. Yeah. And I don't really want to get started, because I will get started with them people who don't believe in the God. That is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of in my life. You would rather believe that two things disappeared out of nowhere and created all of this perfection. How an apple seed, you could take an apple seed, one little seed out of an apple, and plant it, and it'll grow a tree with a whole bunch of apples with 4 or 5 seeds in each one. How you explain that? Who does that? You feel me? So, like, if you just think of simple things, simple things, that it explains that there has to be an architect. There has to be an architect. So my point is, how do you not love the individual, the entity, whatever you want to call it? I call him God, the Almighty, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, controller of everything, creator of everything in existence. Science is only theory. Science is only theory, Drake. Science is only theory. None of it's proven. As a matter of fact, science is disproved every single day. Science tells you that the sun is 93 million miles away from the earth, but it don't light up nothing but the earth? You mean to tell me that the sun is 93 million miles away from the earth and ain't nothing else in space lit up? Stop it. Stop it. Please stop it. That doesn't even make sense. That makes absolutely no sense. People would rather believe that rather than believe that there's an architect to life. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. We just believe any garbage. All science is theory. It's theory. None of it's proven. It's all theory. And these are books written by men, fossils and the dinosaurs. Theories. Ain't none of us been around to see if there was really dinosaurs. We just happen to believe it. We just choose to believe it because it's written in a book. But then you'll have people say, "Oh, you believe in a book that's written by man." Every book is written by man. Like, what is you talking about? You feel me? What did you talk about? Yes, I believe that. That's what I choose to believe. I choose to believe that Moses parted the Red Sea. I absolutely do, because that's where I put my faith at. Because I believe it, because this comes out of a book that was written through the inspiration of God, the creator of all things. Now, if a man just wrote this book, if it was just a regular book that talked about Moses parting the Red Sea, I wouldn't believe it. I don't put my faith in man. I choose to put my faith in God, the creator of all things. So all the books that are written through the inspiration of God, like the Bible, I believe it. I would rather believe that rather than believe what a man says. A lot of people put their faith in men that got their knowledge from another man. I believe in books written by men that got their knowledge from God. That's what I choose to do, because I believe in God. Absolutely. Yeah. That's more believable than the fact that the sun that I see at nighttime, I see space is not lit up. So it's easy for me not to believe that the sun is 93 million miles away from the sun, because there wouldn't be no darkness. Everything would be lit up. We'd be able to see every planet. But anyway, I don't want to get into that right there. We ain't gonna get into that. I'll just say it like this. I would rather believe God than man. Absolutely. I'd rather believe what's in the Bible rather than what man talks about. Period. Even through the translations. People talk about the translations means that first of all, the God I believe in ain't give a man enough intelligence to alter his word. Now, I don't believe that. I don't believe a regular man is going to alter God's word. And it has to be translated into different languages, because there's a whole lot of languages on the planet. So everybody needs to be able to understand it. Everybody. And I see you asking your questions, and you're also asking your questions from a blank profile, which means that you're hiding from something. So I don't get into debates with people who ain't even man enough or woman enough, whatever you are, to even show their face. And I'm sure you can keep going as a non-believer. Absolutely. You can keep going. But how about you ask some of the things that you believe in? Explain to me how the sun is 93 million miles away from the earth and it don't light nothing else up in space, and then we'll keep on going. How about that? You break that down to me, and then we'll keep on going. Explain to me how you know that there were dinosaurs. Explain to me how you know that man was ever in space. I'm sure you're probably one of the ones who believe that man was in space, even though there's plenty of evidence to show and prove that there's not. I absolutely believe Jesus rose from the dead, Drake. Absolutely. But you keep with those questions, but you're still not explaining anything that you believe. You feel me? And I ain't going to block you. I ain't going to block you. I don't run from no debates. Fossils could be made up, Drake. Just like space was made up, Drake. You goofy. And once again, you're arguing from a ghost page. You're debating without even showing your face. You looking right at me. You're hiding. You're hiding. You're not even bold enough to show your face. You're not even bold enough to show what you look like or nothing. So I'll let you go. But I'm going to let you stay because you're going to learn some stuff. Because you sound like a narcissist. Cerebral narcissist focuses on intelligence, knowledge, or intellectual dominance, right? They need to feel mentally superior, like Drake. They need to feel mentally superior. Your lack of faith is scary. Your lack of faith is scary because I'm going to tell you, I would rather believe in God and pass away and find out that there's no such thing as heaven and hell than not believe in God and pass away and find out that there is. You feel me? See, the 2 golden rules is to love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to treat people the way you want to be treated. Those are the 2 golden rules. To love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to treat people the way you want to be treated. Anybody who debates against that shows and proves that they are a wicked-hearted person. Anybody who thinks it's a problem to treat other people the way they want to be treated, that's a problem. All right, y'all. Here's section 4. How many types are there then? How many types of narcissists are there? The clear, direct answer is one official clinically diagnosed type. That is NPD. One officially diagnosed type. That's NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, right? 2 core scientifically supported types, grandiose and vulnerable, meaning overt and covert. Overt is the grandiose, covert is the vulnerable, right? 4 to 6 commonly recognized subtypes, behavior-based categories. You feel me? So let me read that again. How many different types of narcissists are there? The clear, direct answer is one official clinically diagnosed type. That's narcissistic personality disorder. There are 2 core scientifically supported types. That's grandiose and vulnerable. Grandiose is the overt, vulnerable is the covert. And there are 4 to 6 commonly recognized subtypes, behavior-based categories, and that's the somatic, the communal, the cerebral, the malignant. All right? So, strict clinical perspective on how many narcissists? 1. Okay? The strict clinical perspective on how many different types of narcissists? 1. Okay? The practical real world understanding, approximately 5 to 7 patterns. So there's 1 clinical and the practical real world understanding, 5 to 7. But these are just traits. These are patterned. All right. In order to be a narcissist, you have to be someone. The narcissist breaks it down. What a narcissist is, they do not have empathy. They're grandiose. Their need for excessive admiration and attention, money and clout, and they have a heavy sense of entitlement. All right, heavy sense of entitlement. All right, so here's some final clarity. The exact number of types is less important than recognizing the shared chord pattern. So focusing on the number of types is less important. It's less important than focusing on the shared core patterns. That's the self-centeredness. That's the lack of empathy. That's the need for control and validation, right? Narcissistic individuals may present differently, but these foundational traits remain consistent. That's how you can tell you're dealing with the narcissist, regardless of these subtypes and these other traits. The consistency of the self-centeredness, the lack of empathy, and the need for control and validation. All right? Do not focus solely on labeling the types, y'all. Don't focus on that, right? Focus on identifying repeated patterns that affect emotional safety, clarity, and well-being. Let me read that again. Focus on identifying repeated patterns that affect emotional safety, clarity, and well-being. If somebody is mistreating you, you focus on that. Don't try to figure out what type they are and what subtype they are and all this other nonsense. If you're being mistreated by somebody, get away from this person. Get away from them. All right? Next, I'm going to show you and teach you how to spot a narcissist early. How to spot a narcissist early. They're very confrontational. They always have to be right. You feel me? Very confrontational. And they only stick to certain questions. They won't answer questions, but they'll continue to ask them. Right? Yeah. These are people who are lost individuals. You know what I'm saying? Lost. There's some people you just need to just not waste your time with them. You know what I'm saying? They're nothing more than a distraction. That's it. Some people are so lost within themselves, right, that they always have to cause conflict, controversy. They love chaos. They love messiness, and that's what narcissists are. Narcissists are people who love chaos and messiness and controversy. They love it. They love that toxicity. They love when they even get caught. They love it. They love when two different people know that they sleeping. They love when you on the phone talking to this person, trying to compare timelines, when you met them, when they met them. They love that. They love your emotional responses, or your emotional reactions, I should say. They love it. They get off on it. They love when you yelling at them. They love when you crying. They don't care. They just like messiness. They love it. You see how dirty they are. These people have a nice house, but it's dirty on the inside. They have a nice car, but it's dirty on the inside. Nice clothes, but they're dirty on the inside. Dressed up, maggot-filled trash cans. You feel me? All right, so listen. Spot the narcissist early. This is a practical detection checklist and risk breakdown. That's the reason why you want to start. You want to learn how to spot these clowns. You know what? You know why? Because there is a risk. There are different levels of risks with them. Like I said, the malignant will put hands on you. The malignant will put hands on you. Not to say the other ones won't. There are isolated cases for different stuff, right? But you want to know that you want to be aware of the types, but you don't want to focus that much on the types. Okay? There's a difference. Once you realize that this person wants to harm you, once you realize that this person's trying to ruin your life, get away from that person. It don't matter who they are. Mother Teresa, Gandhi, your mama, your daddy, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your uncles. It don't matter who it is. If this is somebody trying to ruin you, your reputation, spreading rumors about you, being hateful with you, get away from these people. Get away. All right? Here's an introduction to this. This checklist is designed to help identify early behavioral patterns associated with narcissistic traits. All right? It's not a diagnostic tool. This is not diagnosing anybody, right? This is just recognizing patterns and traits. The consistency. That's a lot of times how you can recognize fact from fiction. Fact is consistent. Fiction isn't. Okay? Fact is consistent. There are a lot of facts, right, in life. And you already know a lot of them. Some of them are common sense, right? A fact is, if you don't eat and drink water for long enough, you ain't gonna be here. Right? A fact is, you cannot not go to the urinate if you drink a whole lot of water. You know what I'm saying? These are facts, consistent things, consistent patterns, and that's how we want to live our lives. This isn't just about narcissism. This is about a lot of the lies that are in society, a lot of the lies that have been told to us, a lot of the made-up history that has been told to us, right? We want to start to pay attention to consistency, right? A lot of things we don't even need to know because it's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant because the only thing that we have control over is right now. That's the only thing we have control over is the here and now. That's it. You feel me? We don't have control over anything else. So like I was in that knucklehead conversation just a second ago, who cares if there were dinosaurs? Like what's the relevance? Who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? What is it doing? We don't know what happened before we were born. We only can get history on what happened before we were born, which means we got to take other people's word for it. We weren't there. So we don't know. We put our faith in certain things. Everybody has faith and everybody puts their faith in something. Every single person on this planet puts faith in something. When you get on the road to drive, you have faith that there's not going to be some weirdo on the road that's just targeting cars to run into. You have faith in that. You have faith in the fact that you're going to make it where you're going to. When you go to the grocery store, you have faith in the fact that the food that you're buying is not poisoned. You have faith in that. When you go into an office and you sit down on a chair without even thinking about it, you have faith in the fact that I'm going to sit down and this chair is going to hold me up. You feel me? Everybody has faith, but we don't all put our faith in the same thing. You feel me? But we have to be more mindful of the things we do put our faith in. We have to be more mindful of how we maneuver. We have to be more mindful of the things that we pay attention to, the things that we give any thought process to. We have to be more mindful, all right? So this is not a diagnostic tool. Use it as a pattern recognition guide within the first 30 to 60 days of interaction. Within the first 30 to 60 days of interaction, this is a pattern recognition tool. Focus on repeated behaviors and not isolated incidences. Repeated behaviors. You can't sit there, you see somebody spaz out one day, right? And now all of a sudden you just sit there and be like, oh, they crazy. Why would you say that? That's only one time. You only seen them do that one time. And you don't even know what happened. The narcissist did that to you. The narcissist gaslit you, violated your boundaries 1,000 times. You go off, they video you and show everybody and say, see, told you, they crazy. Huh? Because of that one time? You label this person as crazy? One time they went off? Now, if this person is consistently going off like that, then you could probably be a safe bet that this person probably crazy. You know what I mean? But you have to look at the consistency. Yeah, they like the video I am happy to be because of the fact that they've already told everybody you crazy. And so when they could get you, when they could gaslight you into going off and video it, now they can show it to people, be like, I told y'all. Yeah, I had a knucklehead, right? That told everybody I had anger issues, right? So right before we would go to events, especially around their family or their friends or whatever you want to call them, right? They would do something, they would gaslight me, they would do something to piss me off, right? And so I go into that event or situation with an attitude, a visual attitude, right? Guess what? Everybody, oh, he do got an attitude. He always angry. They didn't understand that it was being provoked. It was being manipulated. And that's what a narcissist do to you. They will manipulate situations so they can prove that what they said was correct. Absolutely. That's why you got to be careful with these clowns. Rage baiting, Cass. Absolutely. Rage baiting. And you can't judge somebody based off of them doing something one time. I don't care if they do it 2 times. If they did it 2 times within 6 months, you can't say that this person got anger issues. No possible way. If they had anger issues, they'd be going off way more than that. So you got to pay attention to consistency. Just like somebody will say they don't have anger issues, but they always angry about something. You're consistently angry, but you claim you ain't got anger issues. It's hard to believe you ain't got no anger issues when you're consistently doing something. So pay attention to consistent behaviors, repeated behaviors, not isolated incidences, all right? Early warning checklist, first 30 to 60 days. Early warning checklist for the first 30 to 60 days. Intensity comes too fast for the love bombing, right? Or it come way quick, right? Excessive compliments, rapid emotional attachment, early future-focused language. We're meant to be. Yeah, I just know. If you know, you know. You ask somebody to tell you. I was having a conversation with Dr. Erica, right? And that's something that she mentioned. Like, you will ask the person, they'll sit there and say something like, yeah, we're meant to be. And you'll be like, well, what make you say that? If you know, you know. They don't have any valid discussion or valid reasons why they think that. You feel me? Now, I'm not going to say that I don't think that there are people who legitimately believe that, because I'm the type of person who actually believes in love at first sight. I'm not saying that it's very consistent or very frequent, but I believe in love at first sight because it mentions it in the Bible with Jacob and Rachel. Jacob fell in love with Rachel before he even talked to her or anything. He just saw her and he felt the vibe. And he fell in love with her to the extent that he made a deal with her father to work for him for 7 years. Then the father tricked him because he didn't know Rachel had an older sister, Leah, right? And she wasn't as cute. And the older sister goes first in regards to culture with marriage. Got to marry the older sister out first. So Jacob had to work, and he got Leah, but he had to work an additional 7 years in order to get with Rachel. But this man worked for 14 years. 14 years he worked for somebody, herding his cattle, taking care of his sheep for 14 years for this woman's hand in marriage. He ain't never touched her all that time. That's dedication. You know what I'm saying? That's love. That's commitment. You know what I mean? And Joseph came. Those of you who know Joseph was one of the children that came as a result of their marriage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Joseph was a very important person. If y'all read the Bible, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay? So I'm not going to say just because somebody says that, like I said, it's not very frequent, y'all. Don't think that I'm telling y'all, oh, well, maybe they were telling the truth. No, they'll say something like that, like, yeah, we're meant to be. You're my soulmate. You're my twin flame. But they don't have a legitimate argument or legitimate reasons to back it up. They'll just say stuff like, well, if you know, you know. What does that mean? If you know, you know. Like, what does that mean? Like, that's not definitive enough for me. You feel me? All right? So dig. Specialist Insight, Dr. Romani DeVasila. Hey, Sergeant Patton. Peace to you. Thank you for coming through. I hope you had a good day today. Specialist Insight, Dr. Romani DeVasila. Love bombing creates emotional dependency before accurate assessment can occur. Love bombing creates emotional dependency before accurate assessment can occur, right? Here's an example. This happens between 1 and 2 weeks. Within 1 or 2 weeks, the individual discusses long-term commitment or deep emotional connection. Why? I did, Sergeant Pratt, and I'm having a great day so far. But why do they do this? They do this because they want to get you locked in before you have a chance to figure them out. Yeah. That's the goal. They want to get you locked in before you have a chance to figure them out. So they come in with this, you're my twin flame stuff. Within 1 or 2 weeks. I actually have heard, like I said, I've coached someone who has mentioned that they had the narcissist convince them to move in within 3 weeks. This is how quickly they move. Hey, Mary Lou from Dublin, peace to you. Yeah, this how quickly they move. Within 3 weeks. If ladies, they'll try to get you pregnant quick. Some people, they marry them quick. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised, y'all. And don't look for it. You don't really care what they're doing afterwards. But I'm just telling you this for future knowledge. Some of y'all, when y'all went no contact from the narcissist married somebody else within like a month or two. Yeah. Because they want to, first of all, make you believe that they found their true match, or because they were devastated. You, just like they were your worst experience, you were their best experience. You were the best they ever had, like they were the worst you ever had. They'll never have another you. They'll never, ever, ever meet another solid person like you for the rest of their life, and they never have. They've never had anybody as solid as you. Never. Everybody that they've ever been with in their life has been a snake like them. They never had anybody like you, and they never will. They're going to sleep with multiple people after you go no contact. They're going to be searching for you and multiple people. You know what I'm saying? Multiple people. They ain't never going to find you. They could put together 30 of these clowns that they mess with, and all 30 of them don't equal you. All 30 of them can't measure up to you. Feel me? Reset. You say that happened to you. What's that? Oh, somebody tried to love bomb you and get locked in with you real quick. Yeah, that's what they do. They want to lock you in before you can figure out who they are. Yeah. And then you're so caught up in the daggone love bombing, you caught up in the romanticization of this new perfect relationship because they are going to be perfect. We come into situations honest, right? Too honest sometimes. We run our mouth a little bit too much sometimes because we're honest people. We're not the type of people who come in faking or being secretive or anything like that. We're straight up. So we give them the ammunition. We give them the ammunition to fake. We give them the script. We tell them what we're looking for, what type of person we want, and all this other kind of stuff. Guess what? They assume that role. And now they come in as this perfect, charismatic person. Sometimes when you met these people online, that wasn't the first time that they were aware of you. Let me put y'all up on game. Narcissists target empaths. Narcissists scroll social media, dating sites, hookup sites. They're on all of that, right? And they will investigate you before you even know that they're interested in you. Before you even know who this person is. We put so much information on social media, right? They know our favorite color, our favorite food, our favorite place to vacation, they know all of this stuff about us. A lot of us get into them lonely moments when we putting online what type of person, especially on dating sites. A lot of y'all met the narcissist on the dating site. Don't lie. You put all your valuable information on there. Ding, 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 ding. Hey, my name is Malik, and I'm a Capricorn. You put all... Team Money, salute to you, sir. You put all of your valuable information in regards to what you're looking for on that daggone dating site. So they become exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. So they're able to wow you. They're able to come in and be exactly what you've been looking for. So many people I coach, right? So many people say the same thing. Malik, they were perfect in the beginning. Absolutely, they were perfect. Yeah. Not only we didn't know Pretty Mary. Absolutely, we didn't know. We ain't know. Because we ain't know there's diabolical people like this. Real rap. So we ain't know. And this ain't blaming. This ain't victim blaming. Y'all don't take this the wrong way. I'm just with radical acceptance, man. And the thing is, you're going to get to a point. I know you don't believe it right now. You're going to get to a point where you're going to be able to laugh about all of the things the narcissist did. He's going to bust out laughing sometime because you ain't going to believe they went that far. Yeah. But see, these people would check you out on the dating site. And then they'll find your social media sites, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, and they'll gather all the information they need about you. All the information, all of your favorite this, your favorite that, your favorite color, this or that, or this or that. And they will comment on one of your posts using a comment that they know is going to get your attention. They won't even just reach straight out to you in your inbox. They will make a comment. Say, for instance, your favorite color is pink. They'll make a comment in pink or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm just using just an example, right? Something that they know is going to get your attention. Yeah, because they've studied you like that. That's why they're able to come in to being the perfect person. You're community oriented. That's what this knucklehead played games with me. Community oriented, want to start programs, want to start business, all that kind of nonsense, because this knucklehead knew that that's what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And that stuff actually did happen. And people who knew this clown thought that this was them. I don't know how they thought this was them. How do you think this person ain't never did none of this stuff the whole time you known them, and then they meet somebody and all of a sudden they doing all this grandiose stuff, all this great stuff, and you believe it's them? Yeah, this is what this clown did. Lived off of my light. They was living off of my shine, coming up off of my shine, and got other individuals believing it was actually them. But guess what? When you leave, that grace that came with you, it goes with you. So all of that shine that they was trying to live off of, it goes away. So that fall from grace is mad ugly. All the people that they gathered together to watch them, look at me up on this pedestal, yada, yada, all them people going to see them fall from grace. That fall from grace is going to be ugly. They're going to look so ridiculous. They're going to be so embarrassed and humiliated when people start to put two and two together finally. A lot of their flying monkeys are being tricked too, just like y'all. Yeah, they trick a lot of their flying monkeys too. They make them believe that there's something that they're not. And eventually them flying monkeys start to pay attention to the patterns too. And they start to realize that this person ain't what I thought they were. Hey, Silky Rain, peace to you. Yeah, that grace ain't no joke, Coach Michelle. That grace ain't no joke. Dark Night of the Soul, Emerald, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, y'all, let's tap it up. Let's get on this. Tap it up, tap it up, tap it up. That's a catch-22. You can't find what you're looking for unless you tell them. Let's tap it up, y'all. Let's see if we can pump these numbers up. We're trying to increase our community, all right? Because I ain't going to be here much longer. I may have maybe like an hour and a half. So let's see how close we can get to that 100 G's. We target 100 G's every live, y'all. I know y'all writing stuff down. I know. I get it. I know. All right? But in between, when I'm just running my mouth, let's see if we can tap it up, all right? Let's get them up, because we want to increase our community. We want more people to find us. We want people to find this safe space, because we got work to do. Our ultimate goal is not just to be here. Our ultimate goal is to take this into the real world. We got work to do, all right? All right, so dig. Next, the subtle superiority signals, the very subtle superiority signals. They're very subtle, but if you're paying attention, which a lot of times we weren't, because we believe they were who they claim to be, right? Hey, Sharonda, peace to you. Thank you for speaking. Hope you're doing well today. And if I missed any of y'all speaking, believe me, like I said, don't take it personally. I'm not just ignoring anybody. I will see your comments when I go over the comments later. I promise I will see them. Stephanie Nunez said it ain't mama too. For real. For real, Steph. You ain't lied. You ain't lied at all. All right, very subtle superiority signals, y'all. Here's some of the indicators. Frequently talks down about others. They frequently belittle other people. They frequently belittle other people. They have a strong need to be right. They have a very strong need to be right. All right? And they focus on status, image, or association. They always focus on what they got, what their status is, who they know. You feel me? These are very subtle indications, right? Now, you weren't no fool, Sharonda. You weren't no fool. You were just misinformed, that's all. You solid folks. You were I mean, you showed up as who you said you show up as. You were just misinformed. You thought you were dealing with a healthy person and you weren't. You ain't make a mistake. You can say it's a mistake in hindsight, but you ain't make a mistake. All right? Stay the same person you are, except with boundaries this time. That's the goal. The goal right now is we're going to establish boundaries. All right? And we're going to be more mindful and aware of who we trust. A lot of us just trust people. We're not the type of people that say, oh, you got to earn my trust. That's kind of egotistical. That's an egotistical statement to walk up to a stranger and be like, you got to earn my trust. You got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Just pay attention. Now, and it's still not about telling somebody they got to earn your trust. You keep that to yourself. All right? You keep that to yourself. It's not like you're mistrusting, but we come out of this situation with mad trust issues. Hey, Elena, peace to you. We come out of this situation with mad trust issues. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it's not that we're just making anybody earn our trust. We're making sure that they're consistent. All right? Let's look at it from that perspective. We're just making sure that you are who you say you are. Okay? You are who you say you are. Your words and your actions line up. We're being more observant and less absorbent. It's hard to trust again, Elena. Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. Hey, Jasmine. Peace to you. You've been silently watching. That's what's up, Jasmine. I'm glad you decided to come through. Bring that positive energy up in here. That's what's up. Yeah. Pretty Marie. That's what we're doing. We're observing. We're being more observant and less absorbent. You know what I mean? Because it's safe. It's safer. We can't just be wide open like we were. We have to have boundaries these days. That was our only issue. Our only problem. We were good people and we're still good, solid people. But you have to understand that we live in a world where demons are real. We live in a world where spiritual warfare is real. And we're children of God. So we are amongst the most hated. The devil hates us more than anybody else on this planet. And so we have to have boundaries. We have to practice discernment. You feel me? Emerald Sapphire. Yep, we got to practice discernment. Intuition. We have to pay attention to that. We got to be more mindful, all right? We're not changing who we are. We're just adding boundaries now. You feel me? We're adding boundaries. So we're not just taking any old thing. We're learning to say no without feeling guilty. You feel me? We're not allowing people to guilt us into doing things that we ain't feeling for real, for real. All right? We got boundaries, and they're non-negotiable boundaries. All right? You got to be this big to get on this ride. Period. Not this big, this big. You feel me? No negotiations with your boundaries. Period. Dr. Craig Malkin says, narcissism reflects an ongoing need to feel special or superior. Narcissism reflects an ongoing need to feel special or superior. Right? When you're dealing with a narcissist, it's a hierarchy to them. Hey, Akira. Peace to you, Akira. Glad to see you up in here. I hope you had a great day today. If not, it's going to get better right now. It's going to get better. But narcissists, they have this insatiable need to be special or superior. They do not view relationships as equal give and take. They view them as hierarchies, where they're the god or the goddess or the king or the queen, and you're the peasant. You're beneath them in their eyes. You need to be grateful to be with them. You need to be happy I chose you. You acting up and all that kind of stuff. You need to be grateful I chose you. That's what a narcissist believes. They believe that you're supposed to literally cater to them as if they're some kind of god or goddess. Real rap. They don't look at you as equal. Here's an example. Statements such as, they're just not on my level, become repetitive. Nobody's on their level. Nah, they just ain't on my level. Nah, they ain't on my level. Ain't on my level. What level? Low level? Narcissists talk about people being on their level, and they the lowest of the low. These are sewer lives. These individuals, they live in the sewer. They're beneath everybody. These are the most insecure, insignificant people on the planet. Narcissists bring absolutely no good to life. No good whatsoever. Dumpster lives, Silky Rain, absolutely. Bambi said yes, he lied, and when I reacted, he said, "What? I block you. I don't want to talk." Yeah, they rage. They rage when you catch them up in a lie, or they gonna rage. They gonna do that as a means to distract. Yeah, they want to distract you from the truth. They gonna rage out when you catch them in a lie. Oh, you just, and they gonna go out. Why you always flipping? You always starting something. Why you always so insecure? Yeah, that's their way to deflect. Yeah, they can't face reality. Yeah. But these are the lowest of the low. They bring nothing good to the world. Nothing. They don't bring nothing but messiness, chaos, trauma, everything bad. Lying, stealing, and cheating and stealing. That's all they do. They don't bring anything good. So when you disconnect from these clowns, you don't lose anything except everything bad. He blame you, Bambi? Yep. Yeah, you always questioning somebody. You and your trust issues. Instead of just answering the question, you ask them something simply. Are you seeing somebody else? Did you cheat on me? Are you talking to somebody else? Which is a yes or no answer. It's a yes or no answer. If you ain't cheating, the answer is no, I ain't cheating. What make you think that? What did I do? That's a rational answer, not why are you so insecure? You always overthinking. What? I just asked you a simple question. You feel me? They don't know how to. There you go. They don't know yes or no, Silky Rain. They only know how to lie. That's it. And that's how you know when a person, you guilty right then. When you say anything other than yes or no, you already guilty. If somebody asks you, did you cheat on me, and you got any other rap other than no, you guilty. You did. You did. That's how I look at it. If I'm with somebody and I ask you straight to your face, did you cheat on me? And their answer is not immediately no. And why would you ask me that? You can tell. But when it's some other question, why are you asking me that? Okay. Say no more. Say no more. You know what I mean? Say no more. You just answered it without answering it. Why you ask me that? But if you say no, I ain't cheating on you. What did I do to make you think that? And then you go into a conversation. Because if there is a misunderstanding, that communication builds your relationship. That builds the trust. You feel me? But all that arguing, you got hit with a Hennessy bottle. Come on, mercy and grace. I hate to hear that. Dang. They got that mad. You ain't supposed to know I'm cheating. Bing. No, I'm sorry. I'm in the dark humor. I just make jokes. I hope I ain't no trigger. Yeah. Real rap. Real rap. It's wild. It's wild how they do and what they do, right? They slick. They real slick. All right? They real slick. That's what's up. That's what's up, His mercy and grace. All right, Dig. Number 3, y'all. Empathy feels scripted or limited. Their empathy feels scripted. You know how people could pretend like they care about something when they cry? Oh, I'm so sorry it happened. And there ain't no tears. Not one tear. Right. Listen, here's some indicators. Responses to your emotions feel surface level, right? Responses to your emotions feel surface level. Conversations quickly redirect back to them. Quickly, all right? Specialist insight, Dr. Judith Orloff. True empathy requires emotional presence, not performance. True empathy requires emotional presence, not performance. Here's an example. You share something personal, they briefly respond, then shift the focus to their own experience. Yep, you tell them about you as you know, I was abused as a child or whatever. They be like, oh, that's a shame. You know, I can remember when I was, yeah. That's that lack of empathy. Yeah. when they quickly want to just go on to another daggone subject real quick. They don't want to focus on you. One thing about a narcissist, they want all the attention. All the attention. They are like little children. If somebody else getting attention around them, they get angry. They don't like it. They look at somebody else getting attention around them as a threat. And they will jump into a secret competition with this person. I'm telling you, they're really, really childish. They suffer from arrested development. They're 8 or 9 years old psychologically and emotionally. I don't care how old they are physically. They're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. But emotionally, they're 8 or 9 years old. Elton said her manager, Old Supply, called one night. I said, calm, answer it. No, it's okay. I'll call him back tomorrow. I caught her. She said, you ain't paying my bills. Oof. Yeah, that's what it is. You ain't paying my bills. The manager paying my bills. Yeah. Those ain't right answers right there. Them is suspect answers. You know what I'm saying? That's when you bail, Elton. And I'm glad you, I hope you bailed. I hope you went no contact. Cause this is mad disrespect right there. That's disrespectful. Anybody that cheat on you, I don't care if it's only one time, never forgive them. Never. Because they're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. Cheaters cheat. It's a character flaw. I don't care what you can argue with your mama. If you have an ability to cheat, that means you're an opportunist. That means every opportunity you have to cheat because you get dissatisfied quickly. You like to be in the streets. And anytime you get an opportunity, you're going to cheat. Some of y'all think y'all cheated back. You're not cheaters. There's no such thing as cheating back. Once they cheated on you the first time, the contract was broken. There was no more contract. So the only thing you did is just gave yourself to somebody who didn't really deserve you. But that wasn't cheating because there was no longer a contract. The contract was null and void. Once they cheated, they broke it. So you didn't cheat back. There's no such thing as cheating back. No such thing. No such thing. There's only a such thing as you just getting with somebody who probably didn't deserve you. It was a trauma response. It wasn't cheating back. Cheaters are people who cheat on people who they claim they love. Cheaters are people who will allow somebody solid in their life who's committed to them. They will lie to their face, tell them how much they love them, and they will go lay down with somebody else. And cheating is never an accident. Never an accident. There's too many things you have to do in between to make it happen. You got to meet the person, have conversations with the person, then go meet them somewhere, take your clothes. You got to do too many things. There's too many opportunities for you to stop if you're not a cheater. Cheaters will always cheat. Always. Don't let them fool you. Cheaters will always cheat. It's a character flaw. It's never an accident. Number 4, y'all, boundary testing. It's very subtle at first, right? It's very subtle at first, okay? Here's some indicators. Pushes your limits under the guise of humor or persistence, right? Pushes your limits under the guise of humor or persistence. Minimizes or dismisses your discomfort, right? Minimizes or dismisses your discomfort, all right? Here's an example. You say no, they continue to pressure, joke, or reframe your boundary, right? You say no, and they just continue. They continue to push past your boundary as if you never said no. And they'll joke. They'll make it joking. They'll make it seem like it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's disrespectful. That's how you know when they're testing your boundaries. Yeah. Number 5, inconsistent energy. They're hot and cold behavior. One day you the world, next day you ain't ish, right? Alternates between strong attention and sudden distance. Creates confusion and emotional chasing. This is how they train you for the trauma bond. That hot and cold behavior, they train you for the trauma bond. They dismiss you, and then they come back and reward you. It's punishments and rewards. It's a consistent cycle of punishments and reward. Yes, ghosting, absolutely. Consistent cycle, love bomb, devalue, ghost, then come back. Love bomb, devalue, ghost, then come back. Sing it with me now, love bomb. Y'all know what it is? And you get so used to that cycle. Y'all know the cycle, man. Put cycle on the screen with some light bulb emojis if y'all know and understand the cycle. Yeah, like, sing it with me now. Put cycle on the screen with some light bulb emojis if y'all recognize the cycle. Maximum engagement, y'all. Let's engage. Let's get into some more engagement. Maximum engagement, y'all. If y'all recognize that cycle, the love bomb, devalue, ghost, then come back. They get you caught up in that cycle so smooth, right? So smooth that they can hurt you, they could disrespect you, they could humiliate you, and then leave you alone. And guess what? You're gonna be desperately waiting for them to come back. Yeah. You're gonna be waiting. The rejection is painful. They can hurt you, right? And then they ghost you. Now you feel rejected. And you think they're getting with somebody that's better than you. You feel me? And so you waiting for them to come back and validate you. You waiting for somebody, you waiting for them to come back and validate you. You waiting for them to come back and make you feel better. Just like a drug addict. Just like a drug addict. You got a daggone one of these D-boys out here, right? Come and throw them something. There you go, shorty. There you go. There you go. Yeah, do your thing, right? And then they start mistreating you. After they give you something, they start mistreating you. Call out, you filthy nothing. Get out of my face. You ain't nothing. And then they'll bounce, right? Now you desperately waiting for them to come back because they've done it before. They've given you something, then devalue you, then leave you, and then come back and give you something else again. And you get into that psychological cycle, that habit. It's like, oh, okay, this is what it is. Okay, so they're going to give me something, then they're going to disrespect me, then they're going to leave me alone, but then they'll come back. So I'm going to be grateful when they come back with that bump. And each time that bump gets smaller and smaller. Yeah, it gets less effort, less effort, less effort. You literally, they turn themselves into the hero and the villain in your life. They're the villain, and then you wait for them to come back to save you. Yeah, it's intentional. It's intentional, all right? It alternates between strong attention and sudden distance, creates confusion and emotional chasing. Emotional chasing, right? Dr. Patrick Carnes says this pattern reflects intermittent reinforcement, a mechanism associated with addictive attachment. That intermittent reinforcement. It turns you into an addict. It's that punishment and rewards. They punish you, now you waiting for them to come back and reward you like a little puppy. Real rap. And it's intentional. It's a game they play. They do this consistently with everybody. Everybody in their life, they do the same exact thing with them. They want to control everybody. They want to get everybody in the loop. So they could just bounce on you, leave you alone for a couple months. When they start to lose daggone supply in the streets, they'll spin the block on you. Yeah, if you allow them to come back, you get caught up in the cycle. It is a DV situation, your sassy lover. It's absolutely domestic violence. Just because it's not physical, psychological and emotional damage sometimes is worse than physical damage. A black eye can heal. You know what I'm saying? But psychologically, see, that black eye is not just the physical damage. That also that brings a psychological and emotional damage as well. This is somebody who you thought that loved you and they put hands on you. And now that affects you emotionally. That's a deeper wound. Emotional and psychological abuse is deeper than physical. Emotional and psychological abuse cause people to do themselves in. Send you into a heavy depression. That can actually become generational. Now you're depressed and you ain't taking care of your kids the way you're supposed to take care of them. Now your kids are being raised jacked up. And then they're going to do the same thing and their kids are going to be messed up. You feel me? So yeah, DV is not just limited to physical. No. It's not just limited. Psychological and emotional pain and torture It's the same because do y'all realize that there are aspects of your relationship with the narcissist that are considered torture tactics? Torture. Yeah. Ghosting you can be considered torture. The silent treatment considered torture. Yes. It's not a game. It's not a game. Once you realize that you're dealing with a narcissist, your goal is to get away from these clowns. Your goal is to get away from these clowns. Victim narrative pattern. The victim narrative pattern describes past relationships where others were always at fault. All the exes was crazy. All the exes was crazy. All their exes cheated or something bad. It was always their ex's fault. Never theirs. You feel me? Always. They tell you stories where they were never at fault. They were always the victim or the hero. They never at fault. So all their exes were crazy. Displays little or no accountability. Right? That's the victim narrative pattern. They display little or no accountability ever. Right? Here's an example. All my exes were crazy without acknowledgement of personal contribution. All my exes were crazy without acknowledgement of personal contribution. They just tell you all their exes was crazy. And when I think about it, I knew somebody one time, right? And I didn't even pick up on it because I trusted this person. But in hindsight, I realized that every one of her exes, there was something wrong with them. She wasn't never the problem. And I found out that she was the problem. Yeah, she was the one that was actually crazy. Had stories about how nobody looked out for her. Her family members dogged her. Everybody dogged her. And I thought it was strange. But I went along with the act because I was fooled into believing that this person was a legitimate person when they're not. They're not legitimate. They're a liar. She was a straight liar. You know what I'm saying? And everything, like, it was just strange. Like, in hindsight, I'm like, ain't no way no woman get treated like that. All the time. And it wasn't just physical stuff. It wasn't DV stuff. It was just basic stuff. Like, people that, every one of her exes did her, every one of her exes dogged her. Everyone. Every single one. And now, in hindsight, after she flipped and I seen that mask slipped, I started to think about those situations, and a lot of them didn't make sense. Like, you always the victim? You was with somebody that had a whole bunch of money and they didn't give you none, but you stayed with them. You was with somebody to put their hands on you. Like, it was certain stuff that just didn't make no sense. Like, no story did she ever tell where she was the problem. Never. I tell people all the time, me and my son's mama, I was the problem. I absolutely was. I was on drugs. I was in the streets, back and forth in jail. I was the problem. I would never say anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't been in a lot of relationships. You know what I mean? I've only been in 2 real relationships in my life. I've done a lot of time in my life, one way or another. Adolescent rehab, adult rehab, juvie, county jails, multiple times, penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't been in a lot of real relationships, all right? And I grew up the ugly black kid, so I didn't grow up with a bunch of girlfriends neither. It wasn't even like that. You feel me? But yeah, when you hear people who have been in multiple relationships, and I even thought that was strange because I used to think she was an untouchable, but in hindsight, I'm like, you've been with a lot of people at your age. You've been in a lot of relationships. You know what I'm saying? And they was all bad because of the other person? Nah. And even my life has gotten better since I stopped associating with that person. Yeah, real rap. That's how you know. A lot of times, that's how you know when someone is no good for your life. When that person's no longer in your life and your life get better, that means that person was actually holding you back and you just ain't realize it. We keep a lot of baggage in our life and we don't even know it. Not until they ain't there no more. Number 7, image over authenticity. Image over authenticity. Here's some of the indicators. Strong focus on appearance or public perception. They're always worried about how people view them, how they're seen, right? Noticeable differences between public image and private behavior. That's the key. Notice the difference between how they behave outside and how they behave inside. And a lot of times you're going to see they're very charismatic, so nice and attentive and all that stuff when y'all around people. But when y'all home, they don't pay you no attention. They don't talk nice to you. None of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Y'all out at a function. Oh, I'll bring you your plate. You sit down, babe. I got your plate. At home, you can fix your own stuff. I ain't your slave. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all ladies that felt it too. Oh, babe, go ahead. I got you, babe. I got you. Let me get that door for you, sweetheart. They talk to you like that outside in front of other people. When y'all at home, they hardly talk to you. They don't compliment you. None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between outside behavior and inside behavior. It becomes very blatant at a point. Very blatant. Number 8, the subtle put downs, right? This is the early devaluation indicators. The subtle put downs, right? The backhanded compliments, humor that undermines your confidence. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a really nice shirt. A really nice shirt. It would really, man, that would be popping if you wasn't so big. Yeah. Or you pretty for a big girl. Yeah. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that shirt. Oh, that's a nice shirt. You just need to just flatten your stomach out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Here's an example. You're actually smarter than you look. Yo. I'm under. You're actually smarter than you look. Yeah. Yeah. Some people don't even catch on to that. They don't even catch on. All right, number 9. Number 9. Control disguised as care. Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, Jennifer, you know how they do. You know how they do. You feel me? All right, control disguised as care, right? Guidance framed as concern. I just want what's best for you. Yeah. Gradual influence over your decisions and your preferences. Anything you decide to do, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. You need to do it like this. Why are you always telling me what to do? I only want what's best for you. They're basically telling you they know what's best for you more than you do. Yeah. You shouldn't do that. I'm only looking out for you. Now, love is love. When you care about somebody, you care about them. Now, there will be them times when you may have contradictory advice because they might be caught up and they ain't seeing it right. I've been in that experience where I've had to be told some stuff that I wasn't paying attention to. And I was grateful for it. That let me know the person who was willing to tell me that knew that I could have probably just got angry and just not wanted to talk to them no more or even be friends with them no more, but they were willing to take that chance. When you're that person in somebody's life, when you're that solid person in that life, you're going to tell them what you think, what they need to hear rather than what they want to hear. Because you actually care about them as a friend. You feel me? And if they're a friend, even if they don't take it the right way initially, eventually they're going to come around if they're really your friend. They're going to respect the fact that you were willing to push some stuff out because you knew they might crash. You feel me? But you're not just telling them that you know better than them. That's not cool. That ain't cool at all. Number 10. Psychological and emotional response. Psychological and emotional response, right? Here's some indicators. Increased confusion, anxiety, or overthinking. Increased confusion, anxiety, or overthinking, right? Feeling pressure to perform or prove yourself. Feeling pressure to perform or prove yourself. Here's a specialist insight. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. You're very welcome, Agape Judah. That's a dope handle right there, too. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk says the body often detects emotional threat before conscious awareness. The body often detects emotional threat before conscious awareness. Y'all remember when you met the narcissist, your heart started beating fast? You got butterflies? Bro, she gave me butterflies, bro. I've never had butterflies, bro. I think that's my twin flame, dude. Yeah. Or you get goosebumps. That ain't no green light. Love ain't anxious. Love is not intense like that. That's not a green light. That's your body telling you to run. Because if you think about all the other times when your heart started beating fast, you got butterflies, you got goosebumps, the person ended up being toxic. Your body remembers trauma that your mind forgets. That's a quote from Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. Your body remembers trauma that your mind forgets. We as human beings, we have a tendency to repress negativity. We have a tendency to repress the bad things, right? Your body don't forget that though. Your body stores trauma. That's why you have to get into somatic therapy. It's movement therapy to move the trauma out of your body, because that trauma that's stored in your body can literally cause you physical ailments like fatigue, autoimmune disease, insomnia, things that could take you out even. You feel me? So a lot of times those wasn't green light indicators. That was your body telling you to run. Run, Forrest, run. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah. Migraines, Jeannie. Absolutely. Peace to you, Jeannie. I think this is the first time I seen you up in there. Endometriosis. Absolutely. Olivia T. Yep. 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 You need that somatic therapy, Nisha. It's just movement therapy. It's like yoga, walking, jogging, even dancing, or just movement, shake therapy, but do it for a certain amount of time and do it consistently, incorporate it into your life. You know what I mean? 30 minutes where you just dancing, 30 minutes dancing. Do it daily. You know what I mean? Or like I said, yoga, walking, jogging, any type of movement. It's movement therapy. Because when you leave these clowns, a lot of times you're going to realize that you don't have ailments that you used to have. Yeah. High blood pressure is associated with it. Fatigue. All of that. All of that. It's a consistent exposure to stress. It's not good. What is that? Adenomyosis? I'm not sure about that one, but I'm sure it is associated with it. A lot of physical ailments are associated with overexposure to stress. Because stress doesn't only come from narcissistic relationships. Sometimes it comes from working. You know what I mean? Sometimes it starts working too much. But it's a almost like okay, niece. It's daggone it's overexposure to stress. Oh, Nate. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Maybe. Now I'm not quite sure. You can look it up. You can look that up, or maybe your doctor can mention that to you. But I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, because it's like it's overstraining your nervous system. Do y'all know that a lot of times, man, when you're with these people, you tremble and you don't even know you tremble? If you look at your hands be shaking a little bit. When you talk, I notice this when I do one-on-ones. That's why I do video one-on-ones. I don't do one-on-ones through messages. And I'll never reach out to you for a one-on-one. I only respond to your inquiries. I do not reach out to people first. So if anybody reaching out to you first and it's somebody faking, that it ain't me. So pay attention. Because somebody brought that to my attention yesterday. Yeah, Demi. A lady named Demi. She sent me a fake profile, and you can see it was fake because all the videos weren't even up to date on it. You feel me? Yeah, so be careful. Yeah, Kira. I know this is like the third time. It's like the third time. But luckily, I got people who bring it to my attention, and they know my conversation. I don't just reach out to people. I only respond to your inquiries. And guess what, Akira? She said that they offered tarot reading. She was like, I didn't think you was no tarot reader. I was like, no, I ain't no tarot reader. Yeah, that's who do it. That's who do it. These people. It's wild. It's wild as heck. But I would be listening. I'm gonna be honest. I would be disappointed if this wasn't happening, because they usually do this with people who have larger followings or bigger influence. Yeah, they don't just do it to anybody. I rebuke it too in the name of the Lord, in the name of God. Me too, Akira. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Yeah, but these fraudsters is wild. But yeah, I don't do message one-on-ones. I do video one-on-ones, right? And that's because I also study body language. Absolutely. And so I can tell. I get a lot of people that's twisted in their hair, ain't making eye contact, looking around, shaking, and you can hear it sometimes in people's voice. They sound like Terrence Howard when he played at Hustle and Flow. They talk while they're chatting. I ain't laughing at the person. I'm just saying the Terrence Howard reference. I don't mean to be disrespectful to him neither. It's just jokes, right? But you hear the trembling in their voice when they're talking, and that's because your nervous system is jacked up. Jacked up. These people have your nervous system all out of whack. All out of whack. And that your nervous system being out of whack like that is what causes these daggone physical ailments. Super aware, Silky, that hypervigilance. Yeah, I could. You could message me. I could put something together as far as that. But yeah, you are very hypervigilant. You know what I'm saying? Trauma will cause you to be like that. It's fear. So you eyes open like a smoker, Gina. Open like a smoker. You know what I'm saying? And that also is a sign of a deregulated nervous system. You feel me? Yeah, you're not balanced yet. You're still worried about the attacks. When you dealt with somebody who's constantly hitting you with attacks, you're constantly getting letters from the courthouse, or in my case, the police constantly beating on my door because somebody that made a report that something going on in my crib. You know what I'm saying? And you get to the point where you're expecting it now. You're just sitting on pins and needles, just expecting what they're gonna do next. And that's what they want to do on purpose. They want to overwhelm you with attacks. They want to overwhelm you. They want you to be in fear. But see, I'm a fighter. And I got angry about that. When I sat there and thought about that, like, nigga, you sitting around here worried about this knucklehead. You got God on your side. God is controlling this. Remember that. God is controlling this. They can't do nothing to you that God don't allow. You feel me? Yes, exactly, Elena. Yeah, but it is natural to get into that mode where you always expecting some kind of weird attack. You always expecting some weird text messages. You feel me? And they do it on purpose. These are demons. These are monsters. These are people, when they get their punishment, don't feel sorry for them. They earn that. Do not feel sorry for them when they get their consequences, because their punishment is going to be ugly. It's going to be merciless. It's going to be merciless. They're going to cry and play the victim and all that nonsense. There ain't no mercy for them. None. None whatsoever. And they don't deserve any, because they straight animals when they going after people. But as soon as those consequences start coming, now they want to play the victim. I didn't know no better. Yeah, don't feel bad for them. I'm telling you, because it's going to be merciless. They will get no mercy. When God start that spanking, it's going to be exactly what they deserve. It's going to be what they've earned. You know what I'm saying? Some of them better pray They better pray that they get their punishment before they pass away, because if they don't, it's going to be literal hell to pay. And some of them have earned that. Real rap. I used to have issues with that, for real, for real. I ain't gonna lie. I literally used to say, dang, like eternal hellfire, that's kind of extreme. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even a person come out the womb doing bad every single day, eternal hellfire. But then, when I seen how diabolical some people are, crimes against humanity, the viciousness of these people, oh yeah, it's appropriate. Especially when they're being warned the whole time that they're doing it. When they're being warned the whole time that they're doing these things, and they don't care. They increase their attacks. They smear it in God's face. It's like, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Okay. Listen, Jeannie, you know what? This knucklehead, I don't really know, because I don't pay attention to that clown. I couldn't care less. You know what I mean? They don't believe in God to carry out. But Jeannie, I honestly couldn't care less. But knowing the things that she does and the things that she gets involved in, I imagine, I don't know if the karma's come yet, but narcissistic karma usually starts in around 40 and 40s and 50s, right? So, could be, but you also got to understand this too, Jeannie. A lot of narcissists are getting karma while you're with them. You just don't know. See, they're very skilled at hiding. They're very skilled at hiding. And they go through a lot of hell, and they make it seem like they're just having bad luck or something like that. Or they hide court appearances that they have to go to. They hide people looking for them. You can see some indicators sometimes, because they repenoid a lot, because they know they done did a lot of dirt, so they start hiding from people. They go get a firearm. They do a lot of different stuff. So you get indicators that, yeah, them hellhounds is on that ass. So you get indicators, but as far as fully, I don't know. Because I'm the type of, I couldn't care less about that knucklehead, Jeannie. I don't care if they ever get karma. I don't care. The only thing I care about is that they ain't messing with me no more. That's the only thing I'm happy about. I'm happy that I don't see this filthy person no more. I'm happy I ain't got to deal with them no more. I'm happy the police ain't always beating on my door all the daggone time. I ain't getting court paperwork to go to court for some false report she done made or some false paperwork she done put through. I'm just happy I don't got to deal with that no more. As long as she just stay away from me, my goal is to never see this knucklehead ever again in life. I couldn't care less what happens to that fool. You know what I'm saying? Real rap. I really couldn't care less. Now, rationally speaking, absolutely she gonna face harsh karma, harsh consequences for the things that they do. Scripture says, be not deceived. God is not to be mocked. A man shall reap, and man means human. A man shall reap as he sows. You don't get the privilege of coming here doing people dirty and nothing bad happens to them. You don't get the privilege of that. Thank you for that, Elton. Real rap. Because I'm not going to sit there. I ain't worried about that goofy. These are crash outs, y'all. These are crash outs. They're going to crash. They don't need no help. You don't need to talk bad about them. You don't need to make up no lies about them. You don't need to do nothing. You don't need to assist them. They're going to crash on their own. That's what they are. They're crash outs. They're going to get all the consequences that they earn. Period. They're going to get them. Period. So I don't care. I really don't care. I'm just happy that they ain't bothering me no more. My life is good. You feel me? My life is good, and it's getting better. It's getting better. And as long as they ain't around, I don't have nobody sabotaging my success. I ain't got nobody trying to ruin my reputation. I ain't got nobody blocking my resources. I ain't got none of that going on. You feel me? So I'm good. I'm good. I don't care what's going on with that goofy's life. I couldn't care less. Real rap. All right. Risk assessment. Most dangerous type. The risk assessment. The most dangerous type is the malignant narcissist. This is an overview. This pattern combines narcissistic traits with manipulation, aggression, and a lack of consciousness. lack of conscience, right? Manipulation, aggression, and a lack of conscience. Why this type is high risk? Increased likelihood of psychological harm, more intentional use of control tactics, and with a malignant, control is physical. They'll start off first yelling at you and see what your reaction is. And then they'll start off yelling at you, walking up on you and see what your reaction is. And then they might push their chest on you, you know what I'm saying? Like bump you to see what your reaction is. Then push you. It's going to be gradual. It's going to be subtle. But it's all to test your temperature to see how you're going to take it. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal. It's the intimidation tactics. They'll threaten you. Yeah. They'll threaten you. I got a friend who has received subtle threats. But I'm telling you, this is my friend. You know what I mean? This is my friend. I'll go to war. You know what I'm saying? I will go to war. Real rap. Real rap. But this is a friend who also has an extremely strong faith in the Lord. Very, very good person. Extremely good person. I'm telling you. Very gentle nature. Good heart. Good person. Real solid people. Just like a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? The sad part is that they never change, even if karma hits them 1,000 times. They don't ignore. Absolutely, Akira. They continue to harm people. Absolutely. Until God finally stops them. And there is a stopping point. There is a point. Just like with Pharaoh, there is a stopping point. God will get fed up while they are attacking, just like with Pharaoh, was on the way to harm Moses and the children of Israel who were let go from Egypt, right? On the way to do them harm and got done in. That's a consequence for them. That's how they end. They have a horrible end. You feel me? Their life ends horribly. Horribly. If you even study Jezebel's end, Jezebel went out real bad. Real bad. Her own flying monkeys, read about it. She was thrown out of a window. It was a mutiny. She was thrown out of a window, hit the ground, was trampled by horses, and then her remains was eaten by her own wild dogs. Yeah, they don't meet good endings because these are people who are very vicious. These are people who will ruin your whole life just because you don't want to be with them. Feel me? They ruin your whole life just because they're jealous of you. It's weird. It's really weird. All right. Increased likelihood of psychological harm, more intentional use of control tactics, greater potential for escalation. They're crash outs. Just like I said, these are crash outs. All right. Here's associated framework for the malignant. It's that dark triad. Remember I mentioned it earlier, the dark triad, the narcissism, the Machiavellianism mixed with psychopathy. You feel me? Dude, grab that towel for me. When you get finished, just throw it up on there. I'll put it back the right way. Yeah, just there. Yeah, so these are the most dangerous types. These are the types that want to put hands on you and stuff like that. All right, here's some early identification indicators. Derives satisfaction from control, not from admiration. Yeah, Silky, right. They crash outs for real. Yeah, the dark triad, yeah, they're the worst ones. Derives satisfaction from control, not just admiration. Displays emotional coldness after causing harm. They don't even care after they dog you, right? Uses intimidation, pressure, or fear-based responses. Intimidation, pressure, or fear-based responses. You know what I'm talking about. They want to intimidate you. Oh, you gonna pay for that. You gonna be sorry. You know what I mean? Oh, so it's like that, huh? Okay. That kind of stuff. They do that kind of stuff to try to scare you. You know what I'm saying? You can't be no punk when you're dealing with these clowns. Because they the soft ones, for real. They're the cowards. They're straight cowards. They do stuff behind your back. They do sneaky stuff behind your back, or they victimize people who they perceive as being weaker. Mm-hmm. Generally, if it's a male narcissist, he won't want to fight women all the time. Mm-hmm. And if it's a female narcissist, she gonna want to fight dudes who got records. Akira said, my experience was with the covert narc. I feel these are the worst because they strategic and slick. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very slick and sneaky. Very slick and sneaky. Very. Very. That's the covert. That's the cover. The undercover narcs. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Reacts negatively to boundaries with anger, withdrawal, or punishment. They react negatively to boundaries with anger, withdrawal, or some type of punishment, right? Here's an example. You express discomfort, they respond with anger, silence, or retaliatory behavior. Inspire me, please. I don't like no sneaky bee. And that's what they are, too. They some sneaky itches. Real rap. Sneaky. Elton said, she said, you will never find another woman like me. I know you was praying. I hope I don't, Elton, right? I pray I don't find another one like you. Absolutely. Absolutely. They speaking it into existence for you. His mercy is grace, say word life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And everybody else in care, yep. Real rap. Moderate risk types. Here's some moderate risk types. The vulnerable, the covert narcissist. Victim-oriented mindset. Uses guilt rather than dominance, right? Their primary risk, emotional exhaustion, long-term psychological confusion. Let me read that again. With the covert narcissist, their characteristics, victim-oriented mindset. They use guilt rather than dominance, right? Their primary risk is emotional exhaustion or long-term psychological confusion. These are the ones that have you sitting, looking, thinking like, what in the... You like, what? Like, how did I... Yeah. That's why with these, I'm telling you, all of them, you have to get into healing practices. Absolutely. PTSD. Absolutely. His mercy and his grace. Yeah. But you have to get into healing practices to combat that. Because that's their goal, to make you go crazy. Literally. They literally want you to lose your mind. Mm-hmm. All Narcissist Info Hub said that narcissist, that covert is a beast, but I was better. Yeah. Word life is mercy saying. Yeah. They literally want you to go crazy. They want you to lose your mind. But guess what? There you go, All Narcissist Info Hub. They end up getting what they want for you. They want you to lose your mind. They want you to go crazy. That ends up happening to them. They want you isolated. They want you to seem like you so crazy that nobody wants to be around you. That's usually what happens with them. Satisfaction 60. They'll never leave you alone. They'll always want revenge. Regardless, they become obsessed, especially when you go no contact. They become obsessed. Yeah, they become obsessed. And they always trying to figure out a way to get back. Now, some of them go too far. Some of them go too far, so they know they can't just come back in and try to talk to you because they know there ain't no way you're going to ever talk to them again. So they got to try to figure out another way to get at you. And it's usually just to ruin your reputation. That's it. They want revenge on you. Mm-hmm. But they have no more power because not only do you see them, other people see them too. And they start losing credibility. Once that first domino falls, over with for them. Once that mask slip, it's over with for them. You can't unsee it. And they don't have the credibility. And as they get older, they lose credibility because more people see their patterns. More people start to see that they ain't worth the ish. You know what I'm saying? More people start to see that they are liars, that they are thieves, that they're conniving, that they're slick, that they can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? They're infecting people out in the streets. That's when they start getting paranoid. They're infecting people with STDs, People looking for them for that. They scamming people out of money. People looking for them for that. They borrowing money for people, claiming they're going to pay it back when they know they can't pay it back because originally they were able to come up with the bread. Originally, they could scam people and they could come up with a lot of money real quick. As they get older, they lose that ability. But the people who they usually get credit from is usually people with drug dealers, like for their pills and all that kind of stuff, right? They lose their credibility, but the people will still give them credit, and then they can't pay back. So now they looking for them too. You know what I'm saying? They don't meet great. Their ending is horrible. They live paranoid. They live very paranoid. And they favor 94. People start to figure out the fact that they go both ways. Absolutely. Their image is destroyed. They're going to go through a humiliation that they're not going to be able to handle. And a lot of them are suicidal. Yeah, a lot of them, they're just cowards. They're just cowards. They don't have the nerve. And so they want somebody else to do it. Yeah. Some of them is crash outs like that. They really long for somebody to end their suffering. Yeah. I remember how obsessed this knucklehead was one time when she found out that some dude that she was messing with one time did a lady dirty. Woo, he did that lady very dirty. Like that was so vicious what he did to this woman. You know what I'm saying? He ended her and he did it on a FaceTime while her kids watched. This is how diabolical this dude was. And she became very, very intrigued and obsessed with that. I believe she started going to visit him and everything. Yeah, it was so weird. It was so weird as if she wished that would have been her. It was very, very weird. You feel me? Very weird. Yeah, don't strive not to meet people online because that's their primary fishing hole. Dating sites, dating websites. And a lot of times they go online because they can't meet people out like they used to. Because they got to stay hidden. They can't move around and maneuver like they used to because they got to stay hidden. Because they're afraid. And they do hide. They start staying in motels. They stay away from their house. When people know where they live, they start staying away from their house. Yeah, and they resort. They don't never change now. They still filthy. They still meeting people. They still free-for-alls. They still bust-downs. But they got to meet people online. You feel me? All right, the next moderate risk types, the grandiose, the overt narcissist, right? Overt confidence and superiority, more visibly self-focused, right? Their primary risk, control and dominance, easier to identify early due to their visibility. It's easier. Hey, Marjorie Versace, you say every time I hear your show on spot with that. That's what's up, Marjorie. Yeah, I'm telling you, I be in the lab, Marjorie. For real, I don't want to bring y'all no knucklehead information. I want to bring 100% effective lessons. I'm glad you recognize. I hope you had a good day today. This you just in here, or was I just missing you your comments and stuff? All right. So the overt narcissist is easier to identify because they're so boastful and loud. You know what I mean? But y'all already know. You been here? Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I'm glad I recognized you up in here. Like I said, I'm glad. I hope you had a great day today. I'm glad you feeling this lesson today too. Yeah, I know, Elton, me either, right? But sometimes, man, people get lonely, and when you don't understand the dynamic of online dating, most time them is just hookup sites. There ain't a lot of legitimate people on those sites. Those is a lot of them sites is a bunch of liars. That's what's up. Thank you, Marjorie. A lot of them sites is a bunch of liars. Those is people who done worn themselves out. You feel me? They done worn themselves out. They got bad reputations, so they go online to meet people. Just like a lot of people run the church. After they done been ran through, then they run the church to try to meet people. That's the worst place you want to meet somebody online. All right, core detection principle. Do not rely on words alone, y'all. Don't rely on words. Track behavioral patterns over time. Pay attention to how people move. Don't just listen to their words. Pay attention to how people move. All right, y'all. I gotta be going 4 o'clock. I gotta be getting up out of here, right? Let's see if we can tap them numbers up to 100 G's. I want actually before 4 o'clock, so I had the time and had the chance to go and hit some people FYP, y'all. So let's see if we can hit 100 G's. That's the goal every live, all right? And I appreciate y'all tappers too. Our community is increasing because of you all. Your willingness to tap, and I appreciate it. Yeah, but don't go by words alone. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, man. You gotta pay attention to how people behave, how they move. You know what I'm saying? So it take a little bit of time before you can know people, because people can pretend for a little while. They can pretend. But if it's somebody that you're talking to, that you're interested in, that means that you're talking to them pretty frequently. And so you could really pay attention. Now, if it's somebody that you're talking to and you're getting to know them, but you don't hardly talk to them, 9 times out of 10, they spending time with somebody else. I'm not the type that I believe that when you're talking to somebody that you're interested in, that's the only person you're talking to. I don't think dating is multiple people. People then took dating to a whole nother level. I don't think that's not dating. That's just like you just seeing a bunch of people. Dating is one-on-one, meaning you giving this person your attention, they're giving your attention. Y'all making a sincere effort to know each other, right? Now, if it don't work out, cool. But how in the world are you trying to tell me that you trying to get to know me, but you talking to several other dudes? If I ever found out that a girl that I'm talking to, and we made it clear that we're talking with intention, and I found out that she's talking to multiple people, I don't want to talk to her no more. I'm not even going to like her anymore. Because that's not my type. That's not my type. My type is someone who's not easily accessible. My type is somebody who's not out in the streets. That's my type. Because I'm that type. I'm not easily accessible. I'm not out in the streets. You feel me? And so I want to be focused on that person. How you get to know somebody when you learn several other personalities? That don't even make no sense. Exactly. Who said that? Najma. Yep. Them are just people who playing games. That's why they changed the dating. That's why they changed the meaning of dating. Dating now culturally means that you're sorting through multiple people. That's not what's up. Nah. And that's not the type of wife that I want. I don't want no wife that's comfortable talking to multiple men. I believe that who you are when you're single, that's who you're going to be when you're married. Who you are when you're single, that's who you are. People try to play themselves. They try to convince themselves, oh, I'm only doing this because I'm single. Nah, you're doing what you want to do. When you're single, you're doing what you want to do. And if dating a whole bunch of different people is what you want to do, you're not relationship material. People who are solid husbands, people who are a husband when they're single or when they locked in. Women who are wives when they're single or when they're locked in. They're not people who's out in the streets. You feel me? But people have, like I said, the foul people have changed that concept. Oh no, I'm just dating 10 different people? Like, are you serious? That's how you want to live? Cool. You just not eliminated yourself because I'm not interested in you. Ain't no loyalty, unfortunately, Najma. Only within people like this. This is a solid community of people. Now, don't get it twisted. There's some people up in here who are narcissists too. I've literally done one-on-ones with people who I clearly saw were narcissists. They are so deceived. They really believed that they were the empath. And I know them like, listen, I could recognize these clowns. I could just be walking somewhere and listen to conversation and be like, dang, that cat sound narcissistic. I could tell by the way they talk. I could tell by the way their facial expressions. Yeah, I could tell. You know what I mean? And I've literally done one-on-ones with narcissists who really believe that they're the empath. And I just sit there and listen to that garbage. Just sit there and listen to that garbage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, real rap. And I give them the same advice that I would give an empath. But these are people, nah. They want to debate with you. Or they want you to be on their side. They want you to agree with them. That's why the majority of therapists don't want to do therapy with the narcissist, because the narcissist is going to try to play games with them. The narcissist is not there to learn anything. The narcissist is there, once again, to manipulate. That's what they do. They manipulate everything. You know what I mean? They manipulate everything. Brenda Brown. I think I've watched it maybe some years ago. I think most likely I've watched it out of interest, but it's not nothing that I would constantly watch. But yeah, some of those things is messed up. Like you got people playing games with you, like that ain't what's up. And I don't understand, like, what do they really think is gonna happen? Like, you pretend to be somebody else and you meet this person and you think they're gonna be, oh, okay, well, it's no big deal that you lied to me all this time. We can still be cool. No, you're a liar. Why would they want to lock in with a liar? You don't have any leg to stand on. You lied. You made me believe you were something else. That means you're a liar. I don't want to deal with no liar. Because if you lying to me about this, then I got to sort through everything. The only way I found out you was lying this time because I came to meet you. And now I got to sort through every single thing that you ever said. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Nope. Ain't nobody got time for that nonsense. All right, y'all. Listen. Check this out. Check this out. Consistency reveals character more accurately than isolated actions. Consistency reveals character more accurately than isolated actions. Don't forget that. All right. Now here's a quick self-scan. Right. There's a fast filter. If 5 or more indicators are consistently present, proceed with caution. Listen, y'all. If 5 or more indicators are consistently present, proceed with caution. All right, so here's the assessment questions right now. I see y'all tapping it up. That's what's up. So I'm gonna go a little bit past 4 because I don't have to. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit past 4. A little bit past 4. No longer than 4:30 because it ain't even gonna be that long actually. Probably like a quarter after. I just want to get these in. Now remember, listen to this. If 5 or more of these indicators are consistently present, proceed with caution. All right? So here's some assessment questions right here. Do they move too fast emotionally? Do they move too fast emotionally? Next, do they avoid accountability? Do they avoid accountability? Next, do you feel confused more often than calm with them? Do you feel confused more often than calm? Next, do they subtly lower your confidence? Do they subtly lower your confidence? All right. Next, do they ignore or push your boundaries? Yeah, Layla. Yeah, that time is 3 hours behind. Yep. So actually, I'm saying 1:15 for you. 1:15. All right. Do they ignore or push your boundaries? Next, do they alternate between attention and distance? Do they alternate between attention and distance? And last, do they consistently redirect focus to themselves? Do they consistently redirect focus to themselves? And here's some final clarity. The goal is not to assign a label. All right, that's not the goal. The goal is not to assign a label, y'all. The goal is to identify patterns that disrupt emotional safety and clarity. The goal is to identify patterns that disrupt emotional safety and clarity. Healthy individuals create stability and understanding. Narcissistic patterns create confusion and imbalance. All right? Absolutely. They don't care, men or women. They all go both ways. They all jump back and forth across the fence because they're hypersexual people. Very hypersexual. I knew y'all was going to end up tapping them numbers up, and y'all going to tap them up even before 4 o'clock. Absolutely. I know how y'all get down. Hey, Tammy. That's what's up. You listening? How long? You been in here long enough to hear a lot, Tammy? You doing good with the program. Doing very, very well with that. Oh, you just came in? Oh, this was a goodie, Tammy. This was breaking down all the different types or the different traits. It was making clarity between types and traits. But the main 2 types are overt, which is the over the top. And I think you told me that clown was He was that over the top, grandiose, look at me type. I'm better than everybody else type. So that's the overt. And then there's the covert, the undercover sneaky narc, the sneaky, the vulnerable one, the one that's really ego driven, Tammy. Yes, that's the covert. I mean, that's the overt. Absolutely. The ego driven. That's the one that he's better than everybody. She's better than everybody. Everybody's beneath them. Nobody's on their level. Yeah. But I hope you're having a good day today. Hope you're having a good day. Glad to see you in here too. This is your downtime. Getting ready. Whew. I know you're excited too. I know you're excited. I'm excited for you. I'm sorry to hear that, Lynn's Fines. But guess what? The pain goes away. You're going to get over this. I promise you. You just hang around. Hang around here. You're going to get over this. There's going to come a time. Listen, one thing you all need to understand too. Okay, that's what's up, Tammy. Tell Ada, say, hey, and have a good time. Have a good time. That's what's up. But listen, one thing about healing, don't think that just because you're very welcome, Tammy. Don't think just because you still think about these clowns that you're not healed. Once you heal, you're still gonna think about them. You gotta understand that this person was a part of your life. This is somebody that you actually loved, all right? This person was a part of your life. So you can't think that you'll never think about them. However, thoughts of them are going to be less impactful, meaning you're not going to be thrown off, meaning you're not going to spiral, meaning you'll be able to hear their name or think about them, be like, oh, okay, and keep it moving, right? So don't be discouraged. They can heal agape, Judah. They can. They definitely can. I did a lesson on that maybe a week or so ago. They can, but the operative, what the problem is, will they? See, they can. The possibility is there. But what they have to do it, first of all, they have to admit that they have an issue. Narcissists don't admit they have a problem. They're not the problem. Everybody else is the problem. They would also have to develop empathy, right? They would have to develop empathy. They would have to learn to be accountable without blaming someone else. And it would take long-term, intense therapy, years. Top specialists have said 2.5 to 5 years minimum. So the thing is, even if they were to go into wanting to change and go into therapy, it wouldn't be worth your time to wait around. You still got to leave them alone. Because a lot of times they're only going to be motivated to do it because they feel like they're losing you. So it's going to be for manipulative reasons. If a narcissist really wants to change, then they're going to go through therapy and whatever they have to do, whether you stay with them or not. And 9 times out of 10, they're not. But they can. Like I said, they can, but that's just like a drug addict. A drug addict can get clean, but do they want to? That's a different thing. It's a different thing. Amor said, how come they don't think about us at all? And Akira said, because they don't love. It's transactional for them with a relationship. And that's absolutely correct right there. They don't know how to love. Amor, they don't know how to love. They don't have empathy. They never developed it. They're empty. Narcissists don't care about love. To a narcissist, attention is love. Attention is oxygen to these clowns. So they don't know how to love. They don't care. They understand love and empathy intellectually. They don't feel it emotionally. They know that they can manipulate you with it, but that's it. They don't care nothing about love. Do y'all know? I'm going to tell you something straight up. Do y'all realize that when y'all expressing your love for these clowns, especially when you're trying to figure out why they're doing you so bad and you're telling them how much you love them and how much you want to do this, you know that they get aggravated by that. They literally get angry by that. It makes them mad. Really, because they don't care about your love. They don't care nothing about that. They couldn't care less about your love. They care about attention. They care about your submission. They don't care about your love. You could type them out a whole long text message, breaking your love down, breaking it down, how much you care about them, what you're willing to do to stay with them, and they will laugh at that thing. They will have other people laughing at you. They don't care. They don't even love themselves. This is the key. They don't love themselves. They don't love their kids. They don't love their family members. They don't love nobody. They just lie. All of their relationships, like Akira pointed out, is transactional. They only want what they want. They'll say what they got to say and do what they got to do besides be sincere and honest to get what they want. They don't care about collateral damage or none of that. Transactional meaning they only want what they want. They'll lie to you to get what they want, Reese. Everything is transactional. They don't get with nobody for a connection. They don't make connections, Reese. They don't connect with anybody. There's something, people who they get with, there's something that they want from that person. Whether it's extreme attention, whether it's money, whether it's clout, they want something from that person. So it's all transactional. All of their relationships are transactional. None of them are based off of connection. None of them. All of them, they want something. Even the Smex is not that's even transactional. They only get with people for their own satisfaction, and it's not the physical satisfaction. It's the satisfaction, it's control. They believe that everybody they get with, they control the situation. They believe that they can get with anybody they want to because they're in control. If you hurt their feelings, they will run out and sleep with somebody to regain control. That's it. Yeah. The Smex is not, they don't care about that. That's a manipulative tool. They don't care about that because the feeling don't even last long. It's like a smoker with a bump. It don't last long. It's the control aspect of it. It's the aspect of somebody wants me. Somebody wants me because I'm so important. Yeah, I'm all that. They all want me. Everybody want me. You feel me? That's what it's about. Yeah, that's what it's about. That's why they use sexual enhancers so they can manipulate you. They don't have the capacity to actually be turned on by nobody because they don't like nobody. So they have to use enhancers. And when they watching porn, they're thinking of the control aspect of it. That's it. A lot of times when y'all caught them watching it, y'all didn't really catch them. They did that on purpose. They wanted you to see it. They want to condition you to it. They want you to start being interested in it because they want to turn you into filthy people like them. So when they swinging and swapping partners, it's for the fact that all these people want me. That's why they out in the streets like they are. They don't understand that they're being devalued. They don't understand that they're just being drugged through the mud. They got horrible reputations, but they think that they're in control. They think all these people want me. Yep, because I'm not important. Because I'm all that. So all these people want me. Hey, Angel Delight from UK, peace to you. All right, y'all, dig it. Let's go out. Let's take it out. If you learned some valuable healing information today, VHI on the screen, please, with some light bulb emojis. If you learned valuable healing information today, VHI on the screen with light bulb emojis, please. Maximum engagement, y'all. I go over all of these comments after the lives. I go over all of these comments. The goal is to find where the engagement is low so I can tweak it and make the engagement high when I bring it back. My goal is to bring 100% effective lessons every time. So if you learn valuable healing information today, VHI on the screen with some light bulb emojis, please. VHI. Don't forget the light bulb emojis, y'all. We got to represent the light bulb live. Y'all know how we getting down. Represent the light bulb live. We got to keep the lights on for our future soul tribe so they can find us. Absolutely. This is coming across FYPs. I know a lot of y'all have seen all these light bulbs coming across your FYP before you discovered this channel. Absolutely. We got to keep the lights on for our folks, y'all. VHI on the screen with light bulb emojis, y'all. Maximum engagement, please. Maximum engagement. If you are new, if you're new, all right, if you're someone who's new, this is the first time you came across this channel, right? And you feel safe, you feel like you found your safe space community right here, please put NS on the screen with light bulb emojis, please. If you are new and you feel safe after being in this live, you're new and you feel like this is a safe space for you, please put NS on the screen with light bulb emojis, please. NS on the screen with light bulb emojis if you're new and you feel safe so far. You feel like this is the place you need to be. You done found your soul tribe. You done found your soul tribe community, your safe space community. NS on the screen with light bulb emojis, please. And y'all can keep the VHIs coming too. Maximum engagement with that. Yeah, I see a lot of new handles. That's why I wanted to ask that. If you're new and you feel like this is your safe space community, please put NS on the screen with some light bulb emojis, please. Thank you, Soul Leader and Soul Child. That's what's up, His mercy and grace. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. That's the goal. That's the goal. Tammy said, King, look at all those new people. You're going to be blessed, be a blessing. God is working such miracles. Thank you for that, Queen. I appreciate you, Tammy. Thank you for that. That's dope right there. I appreciate that. And it's my pleasure. This is my pleasure. I'm telling you, the idea that I'm able to come and educate people and help them become more liberated from these knuckleheads, that makes my day. That really makes my day. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Listen, my goal every live is to motivate, inspire, and educate. If you were motivated, inspired, and educated today, please, MIE on the screen with some light bulb emojis. If you were motivated, inspired, and educated today, MIE on the screen with some light bulb emojis, please. You're very welcome, Miss G. You said you settled so many people and give them peace and a break from their experience. Thank you for that, Miss G. That's my goal. Real rap. That's my goal. And I appreciate comments like that, I swear. It motivates me. You're very welcome, Elena. Peace to you. MIE on the screen with some light bulb emojis if you were motivated, inspired, and educated today. Elena, I know you've been solid. I know it's been 4 months, but that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I bet you made significant change since you first came in, ain't it, Elena? MIE on the screen with light bulb emojis if you were motivated, inspired, and educated today. If I did my job, MIE on the screen with some light bulb emojis, please. All Narcissist Info Hub. Yeah, I know you old school squad, All Narcissist Info Hub, and I'm happy that you still rolling with us, squad. I'm happy you still rolling with us. We're going to be doing some big things, though. Real rap, this is just the beginning right here. We're going to be doing some big things. We just increasing our community right here. I am happy to be. Man, that makes me feel good to read that right there. And that's the goal. We are Squad Global Empowerment Group, LLC. Squad Global. The goal is to make global impact. So I appreciate that comment right there. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I am happy to be. Elena said, yes, the support and advice has been life-changing. I thank God for you every day. Thank you for that, Elena. And I thank God for y'all squad as well. Real rap. Yeah, Elena, LLC. You know you got to add it on the end. Squad Global Empowerment Group. Absolutely. Absolutely. SGEG LLC. That's who we be. Widowmaker, thank you for the GOAT. Oh, that's the first gift you ever. Thank you for that, Widowmaker. I appreciate that. Lynch Fines, you got me up off the couch for the first time today. Thank you. That's what's up, Lynch Fines. That's my goal. That's my goal. Najma, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm actually close to Pittsburgh. I'm like 20 minutes. I'm in a little incest town. About 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh, but I came out here because the property was cheap. But I'll be moving from here soon too. Yeah, I won't be here for much longer. I'm going back down south. I want to go down south. I want some land. My heart belongs to Jesus. You're the best, for real, for real. Thank you for that. My heart belongs to Jesus. You the best too. The best recognize the best. You feel me? Oh, you in NY? I could tell His mercy and grace. I could tell. That's word. Like I could tell by some of your comments, some of your lingo. I could tell. I'm gonna actually be coming. I'm gonna be doing seminars in NY soon, within some months. Absolutely. I'll keep y'all posted. I hope you stick around. I hope you stay around. Mississippi in the building. Wanda Mays. That's what's up. You buy 10 acres, Adele. That's what's up. I would, whew, yeah. I could do some things. I don't know if I really want that many acres, but if I came up on a deal good enough, but I do want enough to wherever I settle at, even though I'm still going to be traveling, doing seminars and stuff like that, right? I still want to have a foundation because I got sons. I want to leave something for my sons, you know, and there's some other future things there's potential, you know what I mean? And so I want to have, you know what I mean, land for my family, for us all to be there together. But I also want to do something local for the kids. I told you all I have a nonprofit. So wherever I set up shop, wherever my foundation is, I'm going to be running a local organization for at-risk kids, moms, young men. Yeah, I'm community oriented. You feel me? I'm very community oriented. You're very welcome, Jeannie. You're very welcome. Thank you for that, Najma. I'm believing. I got mad hope. I definitely have hope. I got a lot of faith in God, and I know I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. Just reading y'all comments and stuff like that, I know I'm on the right track, and I appreciate it. I'm happy to be used like this. Blessings to you, Mercy. All right, listen, y'all, real quick. Hey, Sade, you take care, too. Thank you for coming through. That's another foundation squad right there. Sade was up in these daggone chats when there was only like 10 people. Yeah, real rap. And still around. That's what's up. I appreciate you, squad. You enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, Peaches. Hey, Tisha. Our liaison for Albuquerque. Peace to you. I hope you're doing well today, Tish. Hope you're doing well. All right, lastly, rate the live, y'all. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Rate the live. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Rate the live, y'all. 1 to 10. How did I do? Maximum engagement, y'all. Maximum engagement. I'm very well, Peaches. I hope you're doing well, too. Peaches put 50. That's what's up. I'll take it. Sam Sousa, you know I don't mind the 8, but do me a favor. With that 8, give me a one word suggestion how I could make it a 10. One word suggestion. One word suggestion how it could have been a 10, Sam Sousa. Were you in here for the whole live? So how you gonna rate it in the last 15 minutes? You wasn't even here for the lessons. Come on, dude. Come on, bruh. Come on. That's wild right there. That's wild. But it's all good. Yeah, absolutely. You can be honest, but you didn't hear no lessons in the last 8 minutes. You ain't hear nothing but me asking if I did my job. It's all good, Sam Salsa. At least you contribute to the chat. It's all good, bro. I ain't mad at you. I hope you stay around. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Now that you're here, right? Press the notification bell so you can come through earlier. I like your attitude though. I like your energy, bruh. I really do. Salute to you. Salute to you. I forgot that. My bad. I salute all the gentlemen who come through when I could tell. Cause a lot of them don't have profile pictures and stuff like that. That's what's up, Sam Sousa. That's what's up. Salute to you, Elena. All right, there you go. I gotta get ready to go. All right, I got something else I gotta do. I got some one-on-ones. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, message me. If you're interested in our 7-day intense program, 7-day intense program is guaranteed to take you to a whole different level than where you're at right now. Message me. All right, I got you. I'll give you all the details about it. If you're interested in our convention, we're having a convention, Houston, Texas, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. All right. Message me for details if you're interested in that convention. And lastly, if you are in the Charlotte, North Carolina area or Charlotte, North Carolina itself, I will be coming for a seminar in Charlotte on June 8th. It's a 1-day seminar from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Message me for details regarding that. And if you're in the surrounding area and you can't make it to the convention, that's the reason why I decided to start doing these smaller seminars, because it's harder. I know it's hard for people to just come to a convention from all the way across the country. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start coming to you all. Real rap. I'm going to start coming to you. If your city, if you believe that we can collect at least 30 people for a seminar, I will make arrangements to be in that spot. I'm telling you, this is about meeting and greeting. This is about us rubbing elbows. This is about helping people to heal. And I want to do it on a smaller scale. 30 people is good. I don't care about no thousands and all that nonsense. I want to be able to reach people directly, make it more personal. That's why I want to travel. You feel me? And I'm ready to do that. So hit me up if that's the case. If you're interested in any of the ebooks, I do have ebooks for download. I have Rebuilding Trust, Why Did I Ignore the Red Flags, Step-by-Step Guide to Becoming Your Best Version. They're only $5 a piece, y'all. If you want all three, you get all three for $10. It's simply your email, and I'll send them straight to you. Cash App, Chime, and PayPal. All right, it's real simple. And even these lessons, the physical lessons themselves, I even market the physical lessons, and all the proceeds go to our ultimate goal of our resource centers, y'all. Yes, the goal is to have resource centers across the country that help individuals like us. There are people right now in this chat who are homeless because of the narcissist. They've lost their job because of the narcissist. Some people are still stuck with the narcissist because they don't have the resources to leave. We want to have the resources to help you move. We want to have emergency beds. We want to have job placement assistance, workshops, life skills training, all of these things. And it's us collectively. We're going to make this happen, y'all. We're definitely going to make this happen, all right? So if you're interested in any of that, yep, whole life ruin, right? Whole life, what's that, Ebo Sem? Yeah, and so how much more appropriate is it for us, empaths, the ones who come to the rescue anyway, us, the people who want to elevate the vibration of this planet, who want to make things better for humanity? How much more relevant, how much more appropriate is it that we collectively as a community do it? That's the ultimate goal. That's why I market things, y'all, not for my personal income. I market things that go toward our ultimate goal. I have a passion for this, and we're going to make this happen, all right? So I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Real quick, salutations, y'all. We do peace. Holla at you later. See you later. Arrivederci. No bye or no goodbye. Those are final. Those words are final. There ain't nothing final about what we got going on. We're going to make things happen. We're just now getting started. This locomotive is just now getting crunk up, right? And I'm going to say a short prayer, and I'm going to give y'all all a universal peace, a universal hug. Whenever our live is on, this is the doors to our sanctuary, our safe space sanctuary are open. I don't like to close the doors on anybody. Y'all still giving last minute pounds. Y'all still giving last minute handshakes. You're giving last minute hugs. Peace to y'all. Here's my last minute hug. So y'all give me salutations. I'll say a quick prayer and then we're going to go head out. All right. Father, in the name of Jesus, we just ask you, Lord, to forgive us for any sins that we've committed since the last time we asked you, Lord. You know, it's hard down here. There's a lot of temptation, but we're striving our hardest to do the right thing and be what it is that you have purposed us to be, Lord. And Father, we know that your word does not come back void. You planted the seed for our safe space community. You planted the seed for our resource center. So we have absolute faith in the fact that this will come to fruition. And we are grateful that you chose to use us humble servants for this global phenomenon, Lord. It's in the name of Jesus that we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for coming and spending time with bruh. God bless you. Peace to y'all. Let me just holler out a couple quick names real quick, and I got to go. You know I like to holler y'all names, man. King Ali, peace to you. King Ali, glad to see you up in here, sir. I salute all the gentlemen who come in here. Not to say that I appreciate y'all more than the goddesses, the empresses, the queens. No, it's just that it's a little more challenging for us men to speak up. We've been taught culturally that we ain't supposed to say nothing. We just supposed to take it and be quiet. That's not even rational. We're human beings just like anybody else. And in order for us to operate at our fullest capacity as protectors and providers, we got to make sure that we're straight psychologically and emotionally too. So I salute you, gentlemen, for coming through. All right. Peace to y'all. Sherry Hurd, peace to you. Liberty Mom, peace. My heart belongs to Jesus. I'm happy to be me. Ebo Sim, peace to y'all. Francine, Patriot Babe, peace to you. Icy Braids, the original, peace to you. Elton, salute to you, sir. Glad to see you up in here as usual. I'm glad you're sticking around, man. I really appreciate that. Secure, peace to you. Too blessed to be stressed. All Narcissist Info Hub. John, Dollar Wise Jones. I like that handle right there, Dollar Wise. Peace to you, Christine, Kroger, Francine, Elton. Salute to you, Elton. Thank you again for coming, sir. Yvette Anderson. I'm just calling out names I haven't called out yet, y'all. Just to acknowledge my folks. Blessed of God. Peace to you. His mercy and grace. Salute to you. His mercy and grace. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Brandy Love. Peace to you, Brandy. Hey, Jeannie. Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening. Thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution to the chat, Jeannie. Yvette Anderson. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Listen, positive thoughts only, y'all. All right? Positive thoughts only. And I'll see y'all the next day, man. Peace.